Today's Sports Daily for Darling View Thoroughbreds, the home of Playing God, Splintex and Lightsaber. Go to darlingviewthoroughbreds.com.au for details.
Welcome back to the Sports Daily on this Wednesday morning. Taylor, Cortland and Digby Beecham with you. Glenn Ingram not too far away from joining us. But of course, Diggers, yesterday we had the barrier draw for some key Group 1s up there in Sydney on Saturday.
Yeah, we did. Autumn Glow was the one who garnered a lot of attention, wasn't it, when she came up with, I think, barrier 14-14. You heard Chris Waller was speaking post track work at Flemington in the morning and saying that James McDonald wanted to remain in Sydney. Clearly there's the 3 Group 1s up there, but he was overruled by Chris Waller and said, no, you will be riding in Melbourne and you will be partnering via Sistina.
Yeah, absolutely. Autumn Glow at $2. Pericles at $7. Willie Do It at $7.50. Chowbell for $10. Pierre at $16. Pierre was very good first up, but come up with barrier number 13, so has to get back in the run again. So Autumn Glow, I dare say there's plenty of futures multis going around on the weekend with Autumn Glow to win the Epsom involved in those.
Yeah, very much so. Look, we had a good chat to Jason Walsh yesterday. He was arriving, I think, there for the barrier draw as we were speaking to him, and we asked him about Pericles, and he said, no, all is in order there. Come up with barrier 5 in the Epsom. So you'd like to think off what he did first up in the tramway. He has to be hard to beat, does he not?
It has to be, but with even luck, you'd think Autumn Glow, she might be just something really out of the box.
Yes.
She might just be able to just be too good and overcome that gate.
So what do they do? Do they go forward from there?
I don't think so. It's not one of Chris Waller's tricks, is it?
No.
Wide draw. J-Back hopefully find some cover and just
chime in.
Yeah, the figures that she's good enough.
The figures that she's produced throughout her career, in particular these 2 runs, this time in, like all the data boffins sit back and go, well, this is a Group 1 horse all day, every day, and she gets an opportunity there at, on Saturday in start number 7.
Yep.
It's a phenomenal record that she's built, but this is the assignment. This has always been a target race, and if she's able to knock this over, well, game on. She's 3 for 3 on good, 2 for 2 on soft, 1 for 1 on heavy. She'll probably get a good track on the weekend, and she'll carry a lot of money.
Dive into that race a little bit more with Nick Ashman tomorrow morning on the Sports Daily, and then, of course, Jules Valance will take a look at the Melbourne meeting, but as you mentioned last week, they've got their little Foxcatcher get-together on Saturday, and Soul of Spain's riding for a hell of a lot in the Metropolitan. $5.50. He said they'd light the joint up if Soul of Spain wins. $5.50 the favourite. Birdman at $6.50. Vauban at $8.50, and Changing of the Guard at $9. Royal Supremacy heads the remainder at $10 in the Metropolitan. There, both those markets still in the futures field, with the final fields becoming official around sort of 7:30 WA time this morning.
I love the fact that these, and we see it in the Doncaster, and you see it also in Melbourne, we don't see it over here. These are true handicaps.
Yeah.
The 50 kilos for horses in the Epsom, 50 kilos for horses in the Metrop, and you get that discrepancy in the weights. I think it just adds enormous intrigue.
We need to build a bank before Saturday, and we can do that with racing at Sandown today. To join us and give us his best bets, Glenn Ingram on the Sports Daily. Glenn, thank you very mumuch for your time, and a good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Taylor. How are you?
Yeah, I'm going very well. How are you?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Looking forward to the meeting today. I think we're going to be on a good 4 track at Sandown. We've got a lot of wind around at the moment. We've got north-northwesterly about 25 knots. So we did expect some showers, but any of those would be nullified by that wind. So I think we'll stay on a good 4, possibly even get an upgrade to 3.
Overall, your confidence levels, Glenn?
I've got 2 very confident bets today. It's small fields. There's not a lot of value. So we'll shoot straight, and I think we'll get a result.
All right, let's get those couple of best bets before we get your quaddie numbers, please.
Okay, the first of those best bets comes up in the last race. Best bet race 7, number 5, Omamori from the Buster and Young Stable. I thought it was a brilliant win last start. His first attempt at 2,400 metres, and look, while he had Terms to suit out in front, he was never stopping there. Ethan Brown had trouble pulling him up through the line. I thought it was as good a staying performance as you're likely to see at the Provincials in Victoria, and I think he's well placed to step up in grade. He looks the leader in the last race here, and if he gets Terms to suit, he's going to be very hard to beat.
All right, so that is race 7, number 5, Omamori. What about your other likely best bet there today?
Yeah, look, it's short enough at the moment, but race 3, number 5, Enamorada, could not have been any more impressive, winning on debut at Ballarat recently. Landed a plunge there off some really quiet jump outs and one running away and ran a really solid time. So she's been well educated. She's very professional, and I think she gets the chance to win again at the higher level. Look, she went up the wrong price. They put up 3.6. That was snapped up by the punters pretty quick, and I think anywhere around that even money is a good bet.
Gee whiz, 360 goes up, $1.80 now with Tab Touch, so that plunge has come again. And there was a couple of form experts, Glenn too, took note of that performance last start and wanted to follow this horse, so they certainly have.
Yeah, look, she's going to be really hard to beat. Look, with a very good stable, Taylor, when the money's on, you can really trust them.
Yeah, absolutely. Gavin Bedgegood we speak of. All right, do we have a couple of quaddie numbers? Of course, 7 races on the program, so the quaddie starts in race number 4.
Yeah, look, I think we'll go short in the first leg. Just my numbers are 3, 4 and 7 in the first. So Presses was beaten narrowly in a similar race at Caulfield recently when sitting a little bit closer. Is a track and distance winner at Sandown. I think they'll try and do the same. They'll ride it forward. The 4 Shock Let's is the class runner. One first up at Bendigo in May, stalked the speed there. I think it'll get a similar run from gate 1, and we can put in the 7 Acton Non-Berber, who's hard fit out of its last start, and that form's been franked from that win last start. So we'll just go with 3, 4 and 7 in the first. In the second leg, Taylor, we'll take the field. Look, I don't like to do that normally, but I really don't like this favourite. He's the lay of the day for me, Zamorada, from the Price Kent stable. I think it's way too short there at the even money. I think it might even be $1.90 at the moment. I could make a case for a lot of horses in this race, so I'm taking the field in the third leg. In the second leg. We'll come home. Third leg, we'll have 11 and 12. We'll stand them out. Bronte Beach was playing at the trials, and again on race day first up, but did have the soft track against her. The firmer track today's right up her alley. And the horse that could come out and blow them away here is number 12, Steel Trap, who was underdone off one jump out at Flemington, bumped into a hot field there in the Capton Teeb. She can certainly improve next start. So we'll lock in 11 and 12 in the third, and we'll come home with Omamori, as I touched on earlier, the 5, outstanding winner last start. I think we'll control the race in the last and get us the money.
Beautiful. That's nice and easy to follow. So the first leg, 3, 4 and 7. Second leg, field. Third leg, 11 and 12. And then standing out the favourite in the last at number 5, Omamori. Beautiful, Glenn. Thank you very much. I believe you're taking a week off, so we'll catch up with you after that once you get back.
We will do. Thanks very much.
Beautiful. There's Glenn Ingram. You can see all of his work. Very good at the trials on the trial show on racing.com. So he'll be joining the team. Thank you very much to all the efforts Warren Huntley's been putting, but unfortunately just a couple of personal issues there, health issues that he's battling at the moment, Warren. So hopefully he gets well very soon, but just taking some time away from doing the tips and the radio.
Exactly right. Our thoughts are with Warren as he embarks on a little bit of a battle, but hopefully we can get him back on sooner rather than later.
Absolutely. So repeating those tips there from Glenn at Sandown, race 3, number 5, and race 7, number 5.
The Sports Daily presents Chris Nelson with his look at Queensland racing.
How are you doing, Chris?
Very well, thanks, Taylor. Going well. Hope you are too. And good morning to you, Digby, also.
Good morning to you, Chris. How is Queensland? Everyone up and about? The Lions win. The Broncos are through to a grand final. There's a lot to like.
There's all happening up here at the moment. You're right. The Broncos winning on Sunday was a massive event, as you would imagine, up here. And going to be, well, already is a big week as Sunday night draws closer. And, I think it's already sold out. The airfares were through the roof straight after the game. So good luck to anybody who's heading down to Sydney. But the Lions, obviously, got the job done. That was a very impressive win.
Yeah, certainly was. Now, it looks like the weather up there has been really kind. Is it staying sunny?
Well, it is. I mean, there's a little bit of light drizzle around even Brisbane this morning, but it's nothing. What it's made is the air very, very humid. I think they're sitting up near 80% humidity at the moment. So It's got up there, and we're looking at temperatures near enough to 30 degrees over the next couple of days. So the sun will come out this afternoon. The track will be good, and I would say probably improve to a good 3 at some stage.
Not good for your hair, Chris.
No, it makes it all frizzy, Taylor.
Yeah.
Not good at all. Not good. You've got to cut it short up here.
yeah, that's why you cut it short. All right, Eagle Farm, 8 races on the program. How many specials are you identifying?
I've got 3 here, and we kick off with race 4, and that's number 4, Ocean Czar. Now, She's a mare that's very consistent, but she doesn't win out of turn. She's only won 3 of 21, but she's placed on a further 10 occasions. Now, 2 of those placings have been at her last 2 starts, Doomben 1350 and Doomben 1630. Now, they tried her at the 1600 for the first time last start. She ran well. She was behind the leader, who was Free Carry. She ran third to Simply Amazing and Free Carry on the line. Look, she didn't get a lot of room in the straight, but by the same token, I don't think she would have beaten either of those 2. Now, she drops in grade here. She's back from Saturday company to midweek company. She only rises a kilo. She draws well in the small field for Daniel Moore, and she's going to, I'd say, be up near the speed once again. So she just looks too good for these. I think she can win. So race 4, number 4, Ocean Czar, first of the specials.
The second place.
Race 7, Digby. Now, this horse I tipped at Ipswich a couple of weeks ago. Number 3, Geraldton. I was under the impression that they would make good use of that inside gate, and I think that was probably the plan, but unfortunately the horse had other ideas and decided to jump poorly. So where he ended up was buried away on the fence around midfield, worse than midfield actually, and he could not get a crack at them in the straight until very, very late. When he did, he absolutely motored to the line. He was a good thing beaten. There is absolutely no doubt about that. So we're going to stick with him here, and you can get an each-way price for Geraldton. So race 7, number 3.
$5.50 and $2.15 currently with Tab Touch. Where's the third and final special, Chris?
Race 8, number 5, Tony Gollan. Again, this time Ryan Maloney will ride. That is Now Is the Hour. Now, he's the favourite. 1 start for the stable. Went around in a Doomben maiden back on the 17th of September. Straight to the front. Absolutely bolted in. 1 by 3 lengths. Ran time. Did at both ends of the race. Now, stepping up from a maiden to a Class 1, never easy. But the way this horse went about that win and the time that he ran suggests he's well up to something better. He's probably up to Saturday grade if he runs those times. So he should win again. Even from the wide gate, he's going to have to burn across here, and he should get across on the leader, outside the leader. And from there, very hard to beat. So race 8, number 5, Now Is the Hour. The other good thing today.
All right, so race 4, number 4, race 7, number 3, and race 8, number 5 there for Chris at Eagle Farm. Your quaddie numbers, please, Chris.
Yep, leg 1, 5, 2 and 1. Second leg, 6, 2 and 4. Third leg, 3, 5 and 7. And the final leg, 5, 11 and 4.
Beautiful. 3 legs in each, 3 horses in each leg. 5, 2 and 1.
Yes.
6, 2 and 4. 3, 5 and 7. Finally, 5, 11 and 4.
Sounds good. Just footnote, guys, you'd like to know this, I'm sure. I was out for dinner Friday night. Told a few friends that there's no way known that Dusty's record of Norm Smiths and grand finals could ever be possibly beaten. And then what happened Saturday?
Yeah, isn't he something
Will
very
Ashcroft's already
special?
halfway there. Yeah, he's fantastic, isn't he?
21. Like, he's 21.
Yeah.
He's already recovered from an ACL tear.
What's he played? 2.5 seasons?
Yeah.
2.5 seasons, that's it. Yep. Yeah,
Wow.
it is frightening. And the demographic of that list is one thing that I think every other club and/or every other club supporters are looking at and going, where are we at? How are we going to, how are we going to overcome them if they retain the hunger, the desire? If they're dialed in for the next few years, and there's no reason to suggest they wouldn't be, they're going to be awfully competitive.
Give the Tigers 4 or 5 years, Chris.
Yeah, we could only hope to be at that level in 4 or 5 years, that's for sure. But, I mean, you listen to guys like Will Ashcroft talk and you think, well, those young guys are going to drive that hunger all the way through, because he doesn't give you the impression that he's finished yet. There's many more premierships.
Yep, spot on. Yeah, he made mention of that when he got the Norm Smith, didn't he? He said, look, we'll get back to work.
Yeah.
We need to get back here next year, so we'll enjoy this, but we'll be back. So it's like, okay, no worries. So, no,
Great attitude.
Good on them. So, anyway. All right, Chris, thank you. Your initial impression, Autumn Glow, 14 of 14?
Looking at the field, without doing the speed map as yet, I'd still be happily in her corner. I think she's got links on those.
Okay.
We might ask you the same question Friday.
Definitely ask me the same question Friday. I have more conviction to my answer, but I don't mind. I mean, I think wide gates in that race haven't been all that bad in recent years. I think they have won a few off wide gates, so I'll have a good look at that before Friday. But she's unbeaten. She's done nothing wrong. I think she can get the job done.
Even money with Tab Touch currently.
Have a good day, Chris.
Yes. You too, guys. All the best.
There's Chris Nelson taking a look at the races today at Eagle Farm. Race 4, number 4, race 7, number 3, and race 8, number 5. Taking a look at Rose Hill. Just the 6 races on the program. Brad Davidson joins us. Brad, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, guys. How are we?
Very well, Brad. Great to chat to you on this Wednesday. How are you?
Yeah, well, I'm well, thank you. Yep, weather's nice over here, so it's certainly turned and spring's well and truly in the air.
All right, a couple of best bets, if we may, please, before we get your quaddie numbers.
Yeah, we'll start with race 3, number 1, Magala. Made it the best. Look, bolted in there first up at Canterbury over the 1250. That was on a heavy track, so needs to go heavy to dry today, but she's won her only start on dry ground as well. I don't think she's just a wet tracker, and I think she's come back really nicely. So, the scratching this morning of So You Pence also helps her chances. He did look, she looked the main danger. So, race 3, number 1 is where we'll start today.
Your next one?
Yeah, I'll give you 2 in race number 6. Only the 6 races today, so small card. But keen to take on the 2 favourites here in Burma Star and the Blade. I just thought Burma Star going from the wet track to the dry track and the wide gates a slight knock. And I thought the Blade was a horse that's been a bit overhyped in his career to date. He won very impressively on debut on a heavy track, but his runs since then on better ground have been pretty ordinary, to be honest. So I'm happy to back number 8, Golden Strand, and number 1, Midnight Dynamite. Now, they're sort of $5 and $4, so you can make a little book around the favourites. Like I thought Golden Strand, they both come through the same race, and they both hit the line really well behind Shillar Gold. We've seen Hidden Motive come out of that race and run really well in a stronger race on the weekend on Saturday there and at Rose Hill, and I just thought they could both settle much, much closer today. It's a race with not a lot of speed. I wouldn't be surprised if Midnight Dynamite leads and Golden Strand just grabs its back there in third. And from there, I thought they could dictate and sort of run 1-2. So happy to back them both. Race 6, number 1 and number 8. And if you're looking for a third one, I'd actually go away from Rose Hill and Sandown race 3, number 5. Enamorada looks a really nice horse. The debut win was off the charts sectional wise, and it does look very hard to beat. So, I'll include that one as well.
All right. Race 3, number 5 there at Sandown. Quaddie numbers, Brad.
Quaddie numbers today at Rose Hill. In the first leg, just numbers 1 and 5. That's 1 and 5. The second leg, 7, 9 and 3. That's 7, 9 and 3. Third leg, 7, 1, 4 and 5, 7, 1, 4, 5. And to bring us home in the last, 8, 1 and 9. That's 8, 1 and 9 in the last leg at Rose Hill today.
All right, 1, 5, 7, 9 and 3, 7, 1, 4 and 5, 8, 1 and 9 there in the quaddie legs for Brad Davidson at Rose Hill. Just the 6 races there today. We had a good chat to Chris Nelson, as we do before you each and every Wednesday. He was of the view that Autumn Glow was still panels ahead of her opposition in the Epsom. Do you concur?
Yeah, she's going to be hard to beat. It's not a vintage Epsom, that's for sure. I think she's definitely scared a few off. So, look, the gate's not ideal. And McAvoy will need to beat his best. He certainly wasn't in the Golden Rose last week on Skyhook. He allowed Tempted to get in, sort of take his spot inside there from a barrier outside. So he's got to be sort of on his game from that gate. I'm not sure what they'll do, whether they roll forward or go back, but certainly the horse to beat for sure. I'm not sure what price I'll have her just yet. I'll wait for all the data to come through and then sort of adjust from there. But she's going to be really likeable, and I think she's the best horse in the race by a considerable margin. It's just whether there's something else there that can beat her with the gates and whatnot. But I'll be struggling to find one, I think.
How did you review the Golden Rose?
Oh, he was unbelievable, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's just one of those performances from Bywalk that he smashed the clock and ran outstanding time. The query, I thought, with him was, well, one, he's a bit inconsistent, but two, 1,400 metres looked a query, but he just ran it right out. And he's a fascinating horse going forward, because I don't know if that was just like one of those perfect storm out of this world runs and whether he can go near it again, because he did it as a 2-year-old. He ran it when he won the Silver Slipper. He just smashed them, and then he hasn't been able to go anywhere near that again. So I'm not sure what to make of him going forward, but that individual performance, one of the best Golden Rose wins we've seen on the clock. So, I mean, he ran a track record. So, yeah, it's exciting, but, I'm not sure what to do with him going forward because I still think he's pretty inconsistent.
Would you have him if you were Godolphin in Everest?
Well, I mean, he's got to be in the discussion. I still think Tempted back to 1,200 metres would be well suited off a good tempo, but he's got to be right there. I do think they were, by memory, most likely to set him for the Coolmore down the straight at Flemington, but I could be wrong. But I wouldn't be surprised if he goes there and maybe Tempted goes to an Everest or something like that, but we'll wait and see.
Yep, absolutely. And, of course, there's a little bit of a question mark this morning. We hear about Skybird. There might be a decision imminent in the next day or two about Skybird and that Inglis slot in the Everest. Brad, thank you very much for your time and enjoy the day. Happy punting.
Good on you guys. Cheers.
There's Brad Davidson from braddavidson.com.au.
A little bit of football news. Port Adelaide has landed Brisbane assistant coach Stuart Dew as its new senior assistant. So he is a close friend and a premiership teammate of the new power coach Josh Carr, so he's going to be part of that box there at Alberton. He was sacked by Gold Coast in 2023. He worked part-time with Brisbane last season, and he was the forwards coach this year. Had a key role to play in that flag last Saturday.
We've got a bit to get through on the football front. We'll try and find some time to do so. The Retrovision text line 0427789571. But, of course, Jamara Ugle-Hagan landed on the Gold Coast. Not sure if that's what the Gold Coast need, but I will talk about that a little bit later. Dane Rampier, it looks like he's going to play on there at Sydney. And Christian Petrarca officially, he wants out of Melbourne.
Yes, he does. Now, still has 4 years to go on an existing deal, so any suitor is going to have to satisfy Melbourne, so watch this space. Callum Wilkie has recommitted to the St Kilda Football Club, was being pursued by the Bulldogs, was fair way down that path, it seems, and then St Kilda had to up their offer, so Cal Wilkie remains at Moorabbin.
Today's Sports Daily for Darling View Thoroughbreds, the home of Playing God, Splintex and Lightsaber. Go to darlingviewthoroughbreds.com.au for details.
All right, welcome back to the Sports Daily, 0427789571, the Retrovision text line number. You are taking on Michael Heaton today. His best is race 4, number 6, 12 under today at Geraldton. Your chance to go into the draw for a $100 Tab Touch voucher. Of course, the Tab Touch special got up yesterday. We do have a text message. I'll just find it. Someone asking, morning guys, Sam's asking when the Golden Saddle barrier draw is on the railway website. No fields allocated. Assume they are waiting on barriers and emergencies. Just got in touch with Craig Smith there at the KBRC. He said it should be at some stage today. There's nothing sort of set up or anything. It's just through Racing WA.
Right, okay.
So,
all right.
Not too sure on what the hold-up is there with the Racing WA website. We know that field, King Advisor, was the last one to be named, and that was officially done yesterday. So that full field has been completed. So suppose we'll just have to keep hitting a refresh throughout the day as to when that barrier draw has been conducted.
Apologies, TC. 13 nominations yesterday for the Swan Draft Kalgoorlie Cup. There have been a couple of scratchings. Lyrical Angel has come out. Verlaines will go to an easier race on the day. Sentimental Hero, Barrier 5, 60.5. Be Optimistic, to be ridden by Chris Parnham. Barrier 7, 58. Curramundi, Barrier 3, 57. You'd expect that Sean McGrady rides there. William Pike will link up again with Starry Heights. Barrier 9, 56.5. And the following all on the minimum, 54. Alaskan, Barrier 1. Dancing Jack, 8. I Love Your Smile, 4. Joey Has a Party to Ride, the very much informed mare for Luke. It's a Lance, 12. Mystical Man, 11. Royal Law, 2. And Rywood, who did run third in the Boulder Cup, building nicely this campaign, Barrier 6.
All right, of course, Inside Running Saturday. I believe Shayne Warren will be joining you, Digby.
Yes, so we will cross to Shayne and Darren. They're in Kalgoorlie on Saturday and get their thoughts. I'll be in the studio here. I think Matt McDermott will be driving the morning, so there'll be a little bit of liaising going on between Perth and Kalgoorlie.
And, of course, you've heard the ads that the drive team will be up in Kalgoorlie on Friday, so they'll be wrapping up a big Hannans Day tomorrow there. We'll take a look at the Hannans maybe tomorrow morning here on the Sports Daily. We've got a couple of participants throughout the morning here after 7 o'clock. Chris Gangemi, Peter Fernie and Triscari. That'll hopefully point us in the direction of a winner. But then also preview a massive Golden Saddle and Kalgoorlie Cup Day, the drive team there, Russell Collette and Marty Young. Surprised that they got let back in after some of the antics they got up to last time, but somehow they've got back.
I think that sort of behaviour endears yourself to Kalgoorlie people.
Fair.
And Marty's a Kalgoorlie boy, so he's basically just reverted to type and it's been embraced.
Yeah, well, no one else would take Mart, would they? Unfortunately.
Only Dougal.
Well, he didn't really get a choice, poor Dukes.
On the Sports Daily, the Shayne train's coming into the station. Here's Shayne Williams with his winners for tonight's WA Greyhound Racing.
How was dinner, Shano?
Really well, Taylor. Really nice, really good. And I didn't choose some of the dishes, but I didn't choose any of them actually. But because I didn't pay, that's why. But anyway, it was good. So that wasn't too bad. 8 out of 10.
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10. Every group's got that person at Chinese. They just hang on. I'll do the order. Then everyone else.
Well,
just
I think one bloke put his hand up to pay, so it's only fair.
He ordered.
Yeah.
You've earned the right.
Do you find, Shane, when you go to a Asian restaurant like a Chinese and the rest of it, that you eat more than you should because there's a lot of dishes in front of you? No, because I do. Don't laugh. It's actually a genuine question.
You don't like to get the takeaway containers, do you?
No, I don't do the takeaway containers.
So you try and do. But actually, I think we had, we have 2 mains and 4 or 5. Sorry, 2 entrees and 4 or 5 mains. It was probably just enough. There wasn't much left. So
how many of you?
Deep fried 4.
So 2 starters and 5 mains, and it was just enough.
Some big units. Hey, you had to save some room for the old deep fried ice cream, Dick.
Oh,
Gee whiz.
That you haven't had a heart attack is a mystery. Oh,
not yet. They tell me, boys. A lot of my mates tell me 49 is the danger zone for the heart attack. So I'm 3 months away from 49. So hopefully we can get there.
Well, just pin the ears back for the next 3 months, big fella, and see how you go.
Jeez.
Oh, big chance.
Where's the best Chinese in Perth?
Look, there's a really good one near the track at Cannington. It's called Emperor's Kitchen. It's outstanding.
Really?
Right near the cross the road from the big, what's it called, Westfield. What is it? The forum and that?
Carousel.
Yeah, Carousel, that'll do. Yeah. It is, let's say, sensational. Anyone listening? Okay. Emperor's Kitchen, Cannington.
Good push there.
We'll have to go there one night, boys.
Yeah, I'm in.
8 dishes between 4
No,
of us.
we have to do it. We have to do it in the next 3 months by the sounds of it. All right, Shane, let's get your selections. We'll just make it time.
Well, boys, we'll kick it off. Race 5, number 2, Clifton Jasper. I really like this dog. I tipped him both his wins. He's undefeated. One of them victories, he took out the Spring Maiden Classic. He's back to the track tonight off a little freshen up. It does look above average, and we've seen him win from sticky draws. So I thought box 2 tonight is a huge advantage for him. I think it'd be tough to beat.
Okay. 5-2. Where's the next one?
Now, my middle one is Scratch, race 6, number 2. I just checked Tab Touch for some prices, and I realised big red lines come through this one, so I'll come back to another one. Race 11, number 2, Tory Keeping. Really looks a good race for Tory tonight. She's drawn in low and has a brilliant early speed. Been thereabouts without winning of late, and this just looks an ideal race for her to ping straight to the front and get the job done for us. Race 11, number 2, Tory Keeping.
All right. Now, do you have one on the fly, please?
Yeah, I've come back to one of mine, boys. Race 8, number 5, Pam Keeping now.
Okay.
Look, she won last start. She meets a similar lineup here. Good thing about her, she's got really good early speed, and with the exception of number 3, Rapido Ninja, who's hit and miss, most of these dogs she raced last week, and they're all slow beginners and very strong. So I just thought maybe she might be able to get to the front, and at $5 we could have a little play each way on her. Race 8, number 5, Pan Keeping, to replace the scratching there, boys.
Okay, so we are race 5, number 2, race 8, number 5, and race 11, number 2. Who would be the best of those 3, please?
Yeah, I thought 11-2 would be the best, Diggs. Knocking on the door, and like I said, good early speed. Get out in front and keep going.
All right, race 11, number 2, best bets. All right. Thank you, Shannon.
Yeah, how's the build-up for Cow going? I'm not going to be able to be there this year, so
no.
I'm sure the white tin sales will be down, but What's the build-up looking like? You boys heading there?
No, we're not. Marty and Rusty are going on behalf of Drive, so TAB Radio will have a footprint on Friday. We're going to do Inside Running from here, but also cross to Shayne and Darren up there on Saturday morning, and looking forward to what promises to be a wonderful day on Saturday, Shano. We're not going to be there, unfortunately, but gee, it's a big meeting. 9 races, $1 million golden saddle. You've got the Ron Says, you've got the Kalgoorlie Cup. Hopefully everyone gets along and supports this massive race day.
Yeah, 100%. It was a great carnival last year, and I really enjoyed myself. It was my first cow trip last year, and wish the club all the best, and no doubt they'll put on a good show, and it should be a big crowd, and hopefully, all goes well for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Shano. We'll speak to you tomorrow.
Talk then, boys. See ya.
There's Shayne Williams. Probably I'll speak about Marty, and I gave him a little bit of a backhander, but the way you acted last time you were in Kalgoorlie wasn't great.
Last time?
Yeah.
Why? What did I do?
Scooters?
Oh, no, I've been back since.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. Yes, I went there. Last year we were there. Myself, Tim, Jeff Miller.
Oh, I got left behind then.
Yeah. No, I was well behaved.
Oh, well.
Sort of.
So I might have been the issue.
Yeah, not might. Yeah. Every time I've encountered some issues in my life, it's been alongside you.
Oh, hardly.
No. I've spoken to your father about this.
Hardly. You had a lot of life before you met me.
Yeah. And since I've met you, I've just gone downhill.
No, well, we all can't be superstars, can we?
We'll just get to 49 like Shano and peg out.
Yeah. Oh, there you go, listeners. There's a life lesson. Just do your best before 49.
Pin the ears back, enjoy life, eat as much Chinese as you can, and then be prepared to die. Oh, pretty simple. That's the way it is.
There we go. Yeah, Jason from Swanview. I agree with Jason here. Don't like takeaway containers, diggers.
No.
Reheated Chinese takeaway is better than fresh cooked Chinese.
That's a wrap for the Chinese cuisine, isn't it? I like... Oh, what about pizza? That's better the next day, isn't it?
Better? It's very good the next day. It's
good.
Probably equally as good.
Because invariably the reason you eat pizza the first time is you're having a couple of beers or you've had a few beers. Would that be fair?
Yeah.
The old school pizzas, that
And you always order too many pizzas just so you can have some the next day.
I'm hot on this. I'm old school pizza. I know these pizzas these days, they've got all the fancy you-know-what on them. Give me a spell. Just a normal, old-fashioned pizza.
What's a normal pizza?
A normal pizza has... I'm going to open a can of worms here, aren't I? A normal pizza is one that has ham, cheese, bacon, chicken. Like, it's just got...
meat lovers?
No, not meat lovers. Not meat. It's got everything on it. It's like a works.
A Supreme.
But it's not one of these ones you go there and it's got rocket and it's got honey and it's got pumpkin and all that absolute crap on it.
So you'd go to Domino's?
No, I don't do it. No, Domino. I've eaten Domino's. We've all eaten Domino's. But just invariably you got a local, good old school, old style Italian pizza joint near you. I've got one, pizza on Cambridge. Perfect, great. But they've got a couple of other restaurants near me and they're always busy, but they look at their pizzas and they're these thin crust. Oh, give me a spell. I argue this with a couple of my Italian friends.
I've run into a little bit of trouble recently ordering pizzas, mainly with hopefully they're not listening, the wife and then the in-laws. They love a Hawaiian. I think it's just a waste of a pizza. Waste of an order.
Hawaiian.
Rack off.
Oh, dear.
Pineapple on pizza.
Yeah. I don't mind pineapple on pizza, but I don't. Anchovies? You don't like anchovies, do you?
Oh. No. Mick from Hall's Head's texting. We'll catch up with Michael Freedman very, very shortly.
Yes.
We seem to be talking a lot about food of late.
Yes.
Mick from Hall's Head looked at backing Westar last night.
Yep.
Night shift, so looking at Saturday's early markets. Watched his Flemington jump out and pulled up his last 100 metres. Is Simon going to be there before Saturday to see how he is going?
Is that from Nick, did you say?
Mick,
yes, Simon flew yesterday, was going to track work this morning, so he has jetted out and will be there following Westar all the way through to Saturday's run in the Gilgai, if that helps.
All right, what's that final field looking like?
Hasn't been concluded yet, has it, the Gilgai?
No, it wouldn't have been. But
no, the noms were okay. I saw the good horse of the Hayes...
War Machine?
Yes. Now, whether he resumes there or not, but we know he's a very, very talented horse, and anything that those boys saddle up at the moment you need to respect, do you not? So,
yeah.
Let me have a look here.
It's a pretty good race. So War Machine's at $4.20. Fracas last start winner there at Moonee Valley at $5. Nadal at $6. Star Patrol at $6. West Star at $9. Stretton Angel at $12. Bridal Waltz heads the remainder.
Yeah, War Machine was one when you saw the numbers, you went, okay, and he is a 111 rater and he has to carry the 60 kilos. But when you're running at this time of year in Melbourne or in Sydney, and it's a Group 2, you expect some stiff opposition, and West Star's going to get it. Yeah, it is. Absolutely.
Straight up for West Star.
And we had Simon on the show last week, didn't we? And he said, look, this is going to decide whether he heads to Sydney after this, but he is intending to run him in the Golden Eagle and then bring him back for the Pinnacles.
All right, we might give you some homework, Diggers, on Friday on the show. Come back with a little bit of a report on West Star.
I can do that for you.
You'll speak to Simon before then, so we'll get an update and we'll let our listeners know on Friday's Sports Daily if we're backing West Star in the Gilgai Stakes. All right, so taking a look at the racing from Sydney last Saturday and then also projecting forward to this Saturday, and a man that's had plenty of say over the last couple of months there in Sydney and will do so over the Carnival. Michael Freedman joins us on the Sports Daily this morning. Michael, thank you very much for your time and a good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning, Michael. Thank you so much for your time. Firstly, can we just touch on the weekend just gone? You must have been thrilled leaving Rose Hill on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely. We, it's this time of year where every trainer and jockey and owner sort of wants to be competing in these good races, and it was a big thrill, and obviously with those two in particular, with Mahuna coming back from the slipper and trying to sort of work her way through the slipper curse, and Manal who's found a bit of form again, which is really pleasing.
Yeah, you got sucked up in the curse of the Golden Slipper. You admitted that post-race, Michael, but how has she developed since that Golden Slipper win?
Look, she certainly hasn't grown any taller. She's not an overly tall filly, but she's certainly strengthened up quite a bit. She's a little powerhouse, so she is what she is now. But you can't sort of fault her record, and hopefully off the back of last Saturday, we can sort of look forward to a couple of good races with her coming up.
Yeah, what are those races?
At this stage, we'd like to go back to Rose Hill Saturday week for the Roman Consul, which is against the Colts, but it's set weights. There's no penalty there. And then, look, if everything's sort of going along all right from there, hopefully take her down to Melbourne for the Coolmore.
Okay, so those are the plans in store. Now, what about Apocalyptic, talking of set weights? That's what she gets there on Saturday in the Flight Stakes at the mile, barrier 7. Is everything on track?
Yeah, look, she seems great. She bounced out of the T-Rose really well. She's a very clean-winded filly, so we don't sort of need to do a huge amount with her at home here. She sort of looks after herself in that respect, but she put in a really nice piece of work here Tuesday with Tommy Berry in the saddle, and she's come through that well. So yeah, she's in good nick.
Up to the 1,600 metres, do you think she could improve out in distance?
Look, it's always hard to say. I mean, I'd like to think so, but you're never really too sure. She gives every indication that she'll enjoy the sort of the tempo of a 1,600 and the distance. But I guess, it is a little bit of a guessing game until you actually see them do it. So we'll look forward to Saturday and hopefully come out on top.
She had one run as a 2-year-old, I think it was in December, and then we've only just seen her come back to the races a couple of weeks ago, first up when she was really good and winning. Was that by design, or how did the early stages of her career work out?
She had that run in December and was desperately unlucky, and, I sort of came away that day thinking she could well be our sort of top Golden Slipper seed in the autumn, but she had a little let-up after that and came back, and she developed quite a nasty foot abscess behind, which just sort of lingered for nearly 3.5 weeks. And it just really put us on the back foot right from the get-go. So I made the decision just to pull up stumps and tip her back out. And she had a really nice long sort of 8-week spell and obviously then came back in and started to prepare for the spring. But it may have been a bit of a blessing in disguise as it turned out, because while she's always shown a lot of raw ability. Physically, she probably wasn't there at that stage. So, I think it probably was a good thing in the end.
Just listening to you there, Michael, in regards to what she showed you as a juvenile, you probably were expecting that she could take the next step and or measure up in this grade this time in?
Was hopeful. I would be rare for me to look at running a maiden filly with one start in a Group 2 against experienced fillies when she ran first up in the Furious. But and I was probably going to be more than happy going home if she'd been able to sort of run in the placings there. So when she actually came out and won, I sort of went home that night thinking, well, we've got a pretty above average one here that is able to do something like that. So, yeah, I mean, she's a filly that from a very early stage was showing us nice signs at home in track work and trials. But, she's certainly sort of gone to a new level this time around.
Michael, she is a My Racehorse-owned filly along with other connections. How many owners in her?
On the My Racehorse side, I couldn't tell you. I'm sure there's a lot. On the other side, which is the remaining 40%, there's 3 or 4 others. There's a good friend of mine who is based in Geneva who's got 10%, and Kate Nivison, who bred the filly, kept 10%, and Dean Fleming, who I had a long association with, took a little bit, and there's a couple of other people in there as well. So it's a good mixture.
All right, well, you shouldn't have to buy a beer after she wins each time, Michael. That's a positive of the big ownership group. Have you looked past...
they're a very enthusiastic bunch.
Good way to put it. Have you looked past Saturday?
No, not really. I think we just sort of see how things pan out, and then sort of go from there. I think at this time of year, whilst I've got ideas in the back of my head that if she was to press on beyond Saturday, where she might go, I'd prefer just to sort of see how things pan out and then make a decision from there.
Yeah, okay. We spoke to Tim Clark on our show yesterday morning, and he was really positive about the chances of Magenta Sky wherever she goes next. Will she be racing Saturday, and if so, where?
Yeah, well, look, she's dual accepted for here in Sydney. We've just accepted this morning for the Dulcify as well as already the flight yesterday. So we'll just wait and see when the fields come out for that, and I'll have a chat to her owner, John Camilleri, as to where we're likely to go. She won't go to Melbourne. She'll either run in the Dulcify here or the Flight Stakes, but she's a really nice progressive filly, and I think she's one filly that'll appreciate getting out over even further a bit later on.
All right, and you take a couple of 2-year-olds to the races? Is that right on Saturday?
Just the one. The filly that we entered, she's gone to the paddock. She sort of was starting to show signs that she's had enough, so she's already out having a bit of a break. The colt Incognito we've accepted with him, so at this stage the plan is for him to go to the breeders.
All right, chance of winning?
Oh, look, he's a nice colt. His trial the other day was a good trial. There was obviously a few sharp ones from the Waterhouse Spot stable that probably sort of stole the limelight a bit, and they're obviously there again, so they'll be certainly very hard to beat. But I think my colt's come on nicely enough from the trial, so hopefully he can take another step on Saturday.
Has he got any traits of Dad? And you know Dad pretty well.
Yeah, look, he's a very similar physical sort of type to Stainside, and that was part of the appeal of him as a yearling. He sort of reminded me more than just about any other yearling I saw by that stallion earlier this year.
Yep.
In terms of resembling his father. So yeah, fingers crossed. It'd be great if he could emulate what he did.
What have been the reports on the Stainsides?
Yeah, there's been plenty of chatter around about them amongst a few other stables, and certainly at the trials Monday week back there was a bunch of them that sort of put their hand up. So there's been good chat about them. So hopefully he can get off to a good start.
Fingers crossed. Thank you very much for your time, Michael. We'll let you go, and all the best again for this Saturday.
Pleasure, guys. Thank you.
There's Michael Freedman taking a look at his chances, of course, last Saturday. Manal and Mahuna too good, and then takes Apocalyptic to the races again, who's been outstanding last preparation.
She's been brilliant, hasn't she, to be fair? She's come back and gone bang, bang as a maiden, and now she's, in the market for good reasons in a Group 1 Flight Stakes, and I think she's a 100-rater. Set weight 56 kilos, like she's, should be giving, just, kilos and kilos of weight to her opposition, but it looks a really suitable setup for her on Saturday.
Barrier number 7 should be able to just sort of land midfield, back of midfield, find her feet, and then we've seen the turn of foot that she possesses. $1.90 currently for the Flight Stakes. Tupacara at $5.50, within the law at $7.50. Queen of Clubs at $8.50. Artistic Venture, drawn gate number 1 at $12 with Tab Touch. Out to a short break. Back on the Sports Daily after this.
Today's Sports Daily for Darling View Thoroughbreds, the home of Playing Gods, Splintex and Lightsaber. Go to darlingviewthoroughbreds.com.au for details.
Welcome back to the Sports Daily. We'll take a look at Hannon's Day very shortly. Chris Gangemi to join us, Peter Fernie and Tony Triscari. Hopefully at some stage be able to catch up with Brad Parnham. If not today, maybe tomorrow or on Friday on the Hour of Power. And then we'll take a look at that meeting there from Geraldton. 7 races on the program. Just a reminder, we are taking on Michael Heaton today, race 4, number 6, 12 under. Chris Gangemi not too far away, but just recapping a little bit of news, Diggers. We haven't touched on Christian Petrarca. Officially, the news came out there yesterday that he had told Melbourne that he was looking to go elsewhere. Sounds like Brett Hardy was on the Sports Daily yesterday morning. He said the Gold Coast aren't really involved in that chase, so it sounds like he's going to end up in Adelaide.
Yeah, well, if you're Adelaide, the decision you need to make is how serious are you about acquiring Christian Petrarca? If Christian Petrarca fits your needs, and we talk about Adelaide bolstering that midfield, Christian Petrarca seems a really, really good fit. Now, he's contracted for a further 4 years. You would think you would need to sign him for a minimum of 4, or, certainly absorb those 4 years, maybe even add another one to it. He's going to cost you, gee whiz, Christian Petrarca's probably going to cost you close to 7 figures a season. So there's going to be a need to get involved in the creative accounting side. I'm not sure what their TPP looks like. I wouldn't think they'd be bursting at the seams, Adelaide. They're a club that's emerging in regards to the depth on their list. So they don't strike me as a club that would have, like Jordan Dawson's a wonderful player, but I would have thought Jordan Dawson's on that initial contract from when he came from Sydney, and it's probably $750,000, $800,000 a year. Now, that is a lot of money, but I'm not sure that they're going to be entering that 1.2, 1.3 million space with any others on their books.
They were trying to sign Nasiah Wanganeen Miller, weren't they?
Yeah,
Adelaide,
well, they were keen. They've got money. They've got money, yeah. So what do you have to give up? They've currently got pick 14. So that's their first selection. They've ruled out trading Josh Rochelle. There was a bit of chatter about yesterday. Melbourne would ask for Josh Rochelle. The Crows have said categorically that is a no. He's not going anywhere. So they're going to keep him.
They're in a position to give up their future first-round pick, aren't they, Adelaide? They've sort of got the list there that you'd think can contend for a couple of years. You had Petrarca, might tip you over the top and make you a genuine top 4 side. I know they ended on top of the season, but there was a few cracks that appeared during the finals.
If you're Melbourne, you're basically saying, we're taking 14 off you. What else have you got for us? And then Adelaide would try to do everything they could rather than give another first rounder, albeit a future one. They'll try and manufacture something else, but they need to satisfy Melbourne because Melbourne hold the whip hand.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we spoke about it after they were exited from the finals. If there was a profile or a style of player that Adelaide needed, Christian Petrarca absolutely fits that bill. So I think Adelaide, if you have to pay a little bit of overs to get Christian Petrarca, I think you do that because you are about to start that window where you're going to be able to contend at the top of the ladder for a couple of seasons with the demographic of that list. All right, Hannon's Day tomorrow, KBRC. Rockanory heads to the race in very good form. A last start winner of the Nicopolis, beating Final Siren and Fast Flicker. To talk about his chances, trainer Chris Gangemi joins us on the program. Chris, a very good morning to you.
Morning, boys. How you going?
Very well, Chris. Great to have a chat to you. Rockanory, the decision to go to the Hannons rather than the Golden Saddle with this fellow, was that a hard decision to make or was it pretty easy?
No, we sort of hummed and hard, or also Michael hummed and hard for a few weeks. I was leaning towards Rockanory after he won that lead-up race the way he did, but Michael's obviously the one putting up the money to start in the Golden Saddle, so he's ended up on deciding on King Advisor for the Golden Saddle. We thought he might be a better 1,200-metre horse, and obviously a rock-hard horse that's in form. We're going to be on pace at Kalgoorlie, so that's the way he's gone. Rockanory ends up in the Hannons.
All right, so how is he ahead of the Hannons then, Rockanory?
Yeah, really good. I thought his last start wasn't a fluke. I thought all 3 runs his prep have been pretty good. And last start especially, I thought he ran through the line really good, dropping back to 12. Had a good sort of 2.5 weeks since then. Nothing's gone wrong. So he's in really good order. He's drawn a gate to get a beautiful run, and I think he should be right at the finish, hopefully.
Back on top of the ground too. Do you think he improves there?
Yeah, definitely. His form says he will. He before his last couple of starts, he hadn't got warm on a wet track in his whole career. So I'd say that hopefully is just a sign of how well he's going this prep. And back on a dry track, he should improve again, hopefully.
We know that he's very good at his best, Chris. What's been the secret to him recapturing his finest form?
We haven't done anything special with Diggs. He's basically gone how our whole stable's gone over the last 12 months. When we were out of form, he was out of form, and now we've got a few back in form, and he's just been one of them. But I think his last couple of starts have almost been career best. But last start was probably right up there. And like TC just said, that was on a wet track, so hopefully on a dry track tomorrow he should hopefully be hard to beat.
Looks like it's a pretty wide open race. At their best, there's probably 6 or 7 winning chances. Do you read it that way, Chris?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think the market's probably got it right. There's the 2 favourites that deserve to be there at the head of the market, and then there's probably another handful of chances too, and our bloke's one of those. So, yeah, hopefully if he gets up there in good order and he runs up to his form, I'm sure he'll run the first few, and with a bit of luck, hopefully he could win it for us. All
right, early in the day, you've got Oscar Charlie going around now. He's been plying his trade at Carnarvon for Aaron Pateman. How's he settled in?
Yeah, good. He come back to us in great order from Aaron. He's obviously Michael leases all our horses to Aaron when we're sort of done with them, with the option to grab them back if they ever sort of look like they warrant that. This has been the first one I think we've ever done that for. But he's come back to us in great order from Aaron. Aaron said he had a couple of soft wins up there, and he actually basically recommended us taking him back for a few starts to see how he goes in the metro area. But we decided we'd take him up to Cal, and he's lobbed a nice race. Actually, it's a small field, it's good speed in it, which helps him. So, yeah, I think he should get a nice run just behind the leaders, and I think he's a winning chance. Actually, I think he's had 2 little gallops since we got him home, and they've both been very good. So I think he's a winning chance in that race tomorrow.
There's 5 horses in the field, Chris. The favourites at $3.50 and the outsider of the field's at $4.40.
Yeah, I saw that. I've never seen that before. So, the market says any one of them can win, and hopefully it's ours.
All right, race number 5 as well, Colossal. How's Colossal going?
He's okay. Just hurt himself about 3 weeks ago. He was due to start again, and just kicked the rail in the paddock and took a bit of skin off. So it's just taken a little bit to heal. So he missed a week or so's work. But he's had a couple of go-ups in the last week or so. They've both been good. It's a nice race for him. I know he likes Kalgoorlie, so we actually thought a couple of months ago we might, if we're heading up for a big race, we might take him with us. And he's lobbed a suitable race, probably a 1200, where after the claim he gets in okay. Drawn an all right barrier, so if he can... He run 2 starts ago, was good, and last start he was in that race where the jocks couldn't even see where they were going with that downpour. So if you forgive his last start on the run before that, you'd think he'd be hard to beat in a 58 plus at Kalgoorlie.
Okay, I wish Bonnie Ladd had won last start. Can he win the Ron Sayers sprint on Saturday?
Yeah, I felt it for you, Diggers. You're almost spot on, mate, but we weren't far off. But,
no.
He was good last start, a lot better. There was a few reasons there why he sort of... was hopefully going to improve last start, and he did. Unfortunately, he just got zapped by one of Adams and Pikey, but no, he was good. If he can lob, we're hoping for a few scratchings, and I also wasn't expecting Immortal Bliss to be in the race Saturday, but apart from that, the horse he's had a good couple of weeks since his last run. He's in good order. If he can, type of horse that probably needs a soft run, and he's got a good 200-metre kick, but if he gets that run, we're hoping he can be competitive again. Like I say, it's probably a slightly stronger field than I hoped he was going to lob, but I'm sure he can run well again.
Corn Cob's been nominated for 3 races, so I presume he'll be heading to Kalgoorlie as well?
Yeah, he'll start in the race where Drew Barry won, mate. 2 starts ago, box-seated, and that seemed to suit him. His last start he led was a tad disappointing, and Zeph sort of thought maybe this stage in his career just needs that slightly softer run. So he'll start in the grad 1300 where Drew Barry won. Hopefully box-seatish again, and hopefully return to what he did 2 starts ago, because if he did that, I'm sure it'd be a good chance.
Now, Chris, King Adviso has gone to a new level this campaign. It's been great to see. Clearly, he's going to have to raise the bar again on Saturday. Is he capable of running a cheeky race at a price in the Golden Saddle?
Yeah, realistically, Diggers, he probably can't win. There's a few horses there that if they're anywhere near the best, he wouldn't be able to beat them. But in saying that, the horse is rock hard fit. He's in really good form. He's had, I think, 5 runs this prep. He's won 3 of them. He's been pipped on the line the other 2. So he is in good form. He's fit. He's going to be on pace at Kalgoorlie. He does need to go to another level. But, yeah, you never know. If there's a few horses into the darn 100% or a few get bad luck in the field, then all of a sudden he can possibly run a cheeky race and pinch some money there. So, no, I don't think he would disgrace himself, but I would be surprised if he could win the race. But in saying that, I wouldn't be surprised if he runs a very cheeky race.
You mentioned his preparation there. Chris has done an outstanding job. Is there a decision made? Does he continue after Saturday, or is it a just judge how he goes on Saturday type of situation?
Yeah, I'd say we'll just see how he goes and pulls up. Obviously, he's had a great prep. Wouldn't want to sort of go too far because that could sort of ruin next prep. So, obviously the trip to Kalgoorlie is a decent one for him too. So he might have a little freshen up after this, but how he goes and how he pulls up will tell us that, mate.
Now, Ganjo, I bumped into someone on Saturday who said you've got a 40th birthday extravaganza upcoming. Is that correct?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, I assume you're talking about Scarley.
Yes.
He gets a little bit excited.
A little bit. He's running through the bridle at the moment.
No, you'd think you were 16, not 40 odd, but that's all right. Mm-hmm.
So Cox Plate, is that right, or Moonee Valley?
Yeah, off to the Cox Plate with about 9 or 10 of the boys, mate. Yeah,
excellent.
That should be good.
Good stuff. Yeah. Well, you'll go there hopefully with some money in the pocket because the stable's been firing. Best of luck tomorrow on Hannan's Day and also on what is a really big day on Saturday, Chris.
Good on you. Thanks, boys.
There's Chris Gangemi taking a look at his chances over the next couple of days there at Kalgoorlie, and a couple of nice ones, as we mentioned, sort of all those horses in the market, sort of $15 or below for the Hannans at their absolute best could probably take that race out.
Yeah, look, it's an intriguing race, the Hannans, because Saloon Bar was there, boom, out, and then you've got Fluoro Neuro back on top of the ground. You would think that is going to work in his favour. Does it work in the favour of Cool Memory? The record would say no, but Darren's yard's flying. Rockanori, that was a great win the other day, and good point that you made, and Chris backed it up. He's always been a horse who's liked to get on top of the ground, and that run the other day on rain-affected ground suggested he's flying. Fast flicker, on top of the ground's a tick. Captain Chaos is going well. Coley, you would think no. Multinational, better last start. Rushing to the Bar's best is good. Secret Attire's at a big quote. And then you've got Secret Attraction, who was nabbed by Secret Attire the other day when Secret Attire had Secret Attraction's back. Secret Attraction drops 7 kilos. Good competitive Hannans, and we know that D-Mac has had success in that race previously.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year.
Correct. Fast start. Yep.
Absolutely. And Cool Memory's in really, really good form. All right, Brad Short, he's got in touch. He said just on his way to Kalgoorlie for the round, looking forward to the drive show Friday. We've mentioned that. They'll be on air from 3 o'clock. Russell and Marty, hopefully in okay form. I think the barbecue starts a little bit earlier than 3, so they'll be nice and up and about.
Oh, how good. No, it'd be great to be there. I'm a little bit jealous. I think that'd be a wonderful spot to be on a Friday, getting ready for what is going to be a huge Saturday, and the town's up and about by all reports, which is terrific.
And Brad reckons the best Chinese is Shan Hin in Inglewood, opposite the Civic Hotel.
Opposite the Civic Hotel, okay.
That's around my area.
It is around your area. Yeah, well, there you go. You've just received a tip. You should put your head in.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit of Chinese, so it won't take long. Clint's text in, go to Pancho's in Vic Park, and you will change your mind about going out for Mexican.
Right.
I think I've been there after the races once.
Is that on Albany Highway?
Yes. Well,
isn't that a great strip, that Vic Park strip there, Albany Highway?
Take you a while to get through all the restaurants.
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, it's a good spot.
Craig L, Joy Kitchen in Fremantle. It's the best Chinese in Perth by far. It's the only thing he likes about Fremantle.
Okay, Greg, no worries. Thanks for that.
He's also spoken about more than happy with the Eagles draft hand coming in as we continue to rebuild. Just got to pick the right ones now. I'm more worried about the now. How do we get back to being competitive and a 6-7 win season next year, knowing a lot of the kids we do draft won't have any impact next season?
Well, if you're getting a top-end kid, there's every life. I think these days, and most of the kids that you are selecting at the pointy end of the draft, not all the time, but I would think 80 or 90%, they're midfielders. Now, we know that Cadman was taken by GWS 3 or 4 years ago, and he looks like he's going to be a beauty. But most of them are midfielders. And one thing we have learned over a period of time is the good young kids, midfield-wise, they can come in and have an impact. That's what we have seen. So, You know, you look at Harley Reid a couple of years ago, came in, had a good first season for West Coast. If you're able to go to the draft and identify 2 good young midfielders, 1 and 2, now there might be a stage next year where they knock up and they just start to show some signs of decay from all the rigours of a maiden AFL campaign, but there's no reason to suggest they can't play their 15, 16 games, and in those 15, 16 games help West Coast win 2 or 3 of them, and that one-win season of 2025 becomes 3, 4, 5, 6.
We're almost getting an extra pick too because Bo Allen didn't really get a crack at it this year.
Yeah, he had some illness issues and they were just a little bit patient with Bo, but they've got some first-rounders on their books, West Coast.
What to expect, you can almost just look at Richmond and what they did this year. With a plethora of young players, which West Coast are going to be similar.
Yeah.
Now, they probably don't have the experienced heads that Richmond did this year, and the experienced heads playing at that sort of level, like a Nick Vlosten halfway through the year was your halfback flanker for an all-Australian team before he knocked up a little bit, but they probably don't have the senior players playing at that sort of level. But from a young player point of view, the excitement that Richmond were able to generate, you'd hope West Coast are able to do something similar next season.
You'd like to think so. Just on that, though, you look at what Richmond still possess, and that is premiership experience and also a culture of success, and one where standards haven't dipped like they have at West Coast. Like West Coast, 18 premiers, all's well and good. All is well and good, no blue. 2020 finals campaign, standards at the back end of Adam Simpson's time deteriorated to an extent where most people just shook their head, and they're trying to pick that back up. It hasn't dipped like that at Punt Road, but no doubt they are going to have a lot of access to a lot of good kids.
Yep. Absolutely, getting a little bit younger, so 6 or 7 wins would be a massive year for West Coast next year.
It'd be huge, and it's hard to do. You look at North, like North has loaded up with, but they haven't been able to. They haven't been able to win those 6 or 7, have they?
No,
I don't
understand on there.
Yeah, exactly right. So it's a big jump, 1 to 6 or 7. It is.
Nathan T's texting on the Retrovision text line, just mentioning we mentioned the aquarium a little bit earlier on. Maybe just suggesting to stay clear.
Okay, all right.
A few issues there.
Talking of Richmond, Tim Taranto won the Jack Dyer medal as Richmond's...
Didn't he poll well in the Brown?
Yeah, he certainly did. Polled 47 votes. Now, Richmond's voting system rates all players in the 23 from 0 to 5 based on their overall performance. Tim Taranto, 47. Nick Vlosten, second, 44. Jacob Hopper, 40 in third. Ben Miller ran fourth, 33, and equal fifth. Seth Campbell and Toby Nankervis on 32. So well done to Tim Taranto. So he's now won 2 Jack Dyer medals in his 3 seasons since joining from GWS. So that's been a shrewd recruiting move from Richmond.
Coops has texted in, the best Chinese in Bustleton is Great Wall.
Okay, thank you very much.
So if anyone's travelling down to Bustleton. Anyway, all right. We'll get to Peter Fernie and Tony Triscari very shortly. We've got a nice push there from Chris Gangemi about Rockanory in the Hannans tomorrow. We'll continue our look at that feature-listed race tomorrow from the KBRC after we get an update on the roads.
Today's Sports Daily for Darling View Thoroughbreds, the home of Playing God, Sprintex and Lightsaber. Go to darlingviewthoroughbreds.com.au for details.
Taylor Corlin with you on the Sports Daily, and I'm lucky to be joined by Digby Beach.
I went, you know what, up just before, well, here at Gloucester Park, I went to go to the toilet and there's cleaners going on and the floor was quite slick, TC, and I've gone effectively arse up. Gee whiz, it's very slippery, that pavement out there, or that passageway.
We'll be doing a fantastic job to get to 9 o'clock this morning.
Gee whiz, dangerous.
Oh, we've lost a plot.
No.
Are you very happy with Great Wall down there in Bustleton?
Yeah, I've just had a look. Great Wall, Bustleton Chinese and Vietnamese restaurant in Queen Street. So that was a good tip there from one of our listeners.
Daniel from Inglewood should know. He's vouched for Shun Hin.
Okay.
So,
right,
if anyone's around that area, there's a bus stop there. So after the football, maybe jump off at the Civic Hotel, walk across the road, get some Chinese.
Shayne Williams has opened a can of worms, hasn't he, with his Chinese declarations?
I think we've been here a couple of times, Diggers. Big Ivan. He's saying Swan Lake Chinese. It's an institution.
It is an institution there near the Herdsman there.
Yes.
Flynn Street. Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Nick Cox Emporium is $100 a dish. Is it Emporium or Aquarium?
Oh, I got no idea. It's
going well anyway. And someone's texted in as well, what's happened to Scott? I hope he's on holiday and not got the push. No, it's all okay. I think he's fishing in Esperance.
Esperance. I think he went to Cow, spent some time there, down to Esperance, and then heading back to Kalgoorlie for the weekend. So he won't be joining us today as part of the Geraldton preview, nor will he be on air on Saturday, but he will be back next week.
I was almost doing the Geraldton preview by myself. Race 4, number 6, 12 under is Michael Heaton's best. So text in on the Retrovision text line 0427 789 571 for your chance to go into the draw for a $100 Tab Touch voucher. All right, catching up with Peter Fernie very shortly. I'm not too sure Amanda's taken more runners to a race meeting than to tomorrow. Not sure if that's a fact, but I don't know if anyone could possibly have taken more runners to a race meeting before.
Well, Kieran Maher or Chris Waller might have.
You reckon?
Yeah, I think so. But he does have a very busy day, albeit this is the time for Peter's Yard to stand up and make its presence felt, and that does that just about each and every time there is a meeting there on the Goldfields.
Yep, and you've kicked up for Secret Attraction in the Hannons tomorrow at 1,400 metres. A little bit out of the handicap, but dropped significantly in weight on the back of a really nice first-up effort. We'll get an update there as we welcome in trainer Peter Fernie. Pete, good morning to you.
Good morning, boys. How are you?
Very well, Pete. Great to have a chat. Thanks so much for your time. A busy day ahead tomorrow.
Yeah, it's busy. It's not much shot. That's actually a bit quieter than normal.
Well, you've got a dual-pronged assault in the Hannons, a race that you have had success in previously, like just about every other race in Kalgoorlie. Secret Attraction dropped significantly in weight. We had a good chat to Andrew yesterday morning. What are you thinking here with this girl?
Yeah, she's really good. Really happy with her. 1,400, I don't know if she's won over 14. That's not the Honey Blue. I don't know if she's won over 14. She's normally best distance is a mile. So, but Gate's done her no harm. She's doing a really good gate. That always seems to help in a Hannons. So she should be in amongst it. But there's some good horses in it as well. So got to respect everything that's in it, I think.
For sure. And just before we ask you about Secret Attire, you've been taking horses to cow races for a long time. When we get the weather that we're expecting there tomorrow, what does that normally do with that track? Is it a track that then becomes quite leaderish or not?
Oh, I think there's going to be some northerlies in it, so you need a bit of cover normally with them sort of winds.
Okay.
So I think you'd need a little bit of cover, but the track's beautiful. It's most probably the best it's ever been, I'd say. Leading into it, they haven't even drawn a mow on it, so that's how lush it's got. So it's beautiful at the moment.
All right, that's a good report. Secret Attraction, how's she improved since that first-up effort?
Yeah, she has. She was most probably needed that run first up and a lot of weight. She's not an over big horse, so the 54 will really help her because she's, but she'll have it lucky to be 15.3, but she's got a big motor and she's tough and be nice to see her win.
Now, on the other end of the spectrum, we get Secret Attire, who's done a really good job this campaign. She's deep into it, but she continues to race well and clearly won the Coolgardie Sprint last start.
Yeah, well, Eddie wanted me to nominate her for the Everest. You know what he's like.
Surely you jest.
He said Andrew hasn't won an Everest for 30 years, so he said...
oh, gosh.
Nah, she's done a really good job. We bought her cheap, and well, they actually bought her as a broodmare. I was only meant to win one race with her, and she was going to go to stud, but she keeps producing. I don't know if she's up to these, but she's in the field, and she should be running on. They go hard up front, she'll be finishing off quick. Maybe
more so it's Secret Attraction, but Secret Attire as well. Do we get to see either of those two runners maybe in Perth over the carnival?
No, Secret Attire's been up for a long time. She'll most probably have a break. Secret Attraction she's only had the one run in, so we'll see where that leads to her. So we'll see how we're going.
Now, we'll touch on a couple of your other runners there tomorrow if we can in a sec, Pete. But Sentimental Hero came up with a decent barrier yesterday, albeit he carry some weight in the Kalgoorlie Cup on Saturday. How is he?
Yeah, the barrier's good and the weight's shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to take a big effort for him to carry that much weight, but he's drawn a good gate. Lucy knows him super well, so I was all in Lucy's hands now. He's most probably improved a little bit since he bowled a cup run, and hopefully he stays on that way till we've only got till Saturday, so hopefully everything's right, and we'll just leave it up to Lucy.
were you surprised by the manner in which he won the Boulder Cup?
Yeah, he ran really well, even though the second horse got held up a bit. He was pretty dominant, so I don't know if he deserved as much weight as he got, but I'm a trainer. We're always going to say that.
Is he a big horse?
Yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah, he's really big. Yeah, he's a lovely big horse. So.
The stablemate was good, Rywood. We know what happened in the Coolgardie Cup, but the Boulder Cup run was impressive.
Yeah, well, she just loves cow. We took her down because I thought she was going good enough, and I gave her to Luke, and she just didn't like the softer tracks down there. She's bred to get ground, so I don't think the distance would worry her, and she's drawn a good gate as well. Holly will take back over and see if she can get around and stay on her this time.
All right, back to today. Can we take a look at race 5, Sunshine Tafe and Evelina? Can you make a strong case for Sunshine Tafe to win for the first time this preparation?
Yeah, well, she's just drawn terrible her other runs. She's drawn good this time, and she'll be just riding behind them. And Evelina was a really good run. I don't know if we'll run her yet or just wait for Saturday. We'll just wait for the final fields. But I think if Evelina runs, she'll be a really good chance with that. Just hasn't drawn the best. I'd like to see her draw a little bit better. But Holly seems to be a good young rider. She's on the way up.
Yep, very much so. Can we just go to the last race there tomorrow, Pete? Lavish Charm went around short price favourite the other day and duly saluted. How much upside has this fellow got?
Yeah, a lot, yeah. We started him and he pulled up shinny the first time we started him, and Tash said, I don't like this horse that much, and then he was actually showing us everything the other day. I couldn't believe what price he started. Like, it was a stupid price, but yeah, it's always hard when you're coming out of a maiden to line him up when you're coming into like a Class 2. But the way he won, you think he'd be able to go on a bit further than what than a maiden. Yeah, just a maiden win. I think he should win a few more. He seems quite a nice little horse.
Is there another one or two there that we haven't touched on this morning that should be awfully competitive in their respective races tomorrow, Pete?
I've got a bit of time for the maiden. I think he's a nice horse. What you're talking about, it's just a bad name, but I think he's quite a nice horse. If he can get across from his barrier, I think he's going to run a nice race.
The Golden Saddle, what's it added to the round and or Kalgoorlie Cup Day, Pete?
I think it's added a fair bit to the Cup, though. Like the last year's noms were absolutely shocking here for the round, but you've seen because other trainers have got horses coming.
Yep.
They've seemed to have put a few more extra on, so the fields are a lot better for Cup Day, which should be good for the club and the turnover, as long as they hold up after scratchings. But I think it looks quite positive, and there's a lot of talk about it. It's great. I most probably have to say I wasn't a great fan of it when it first came out, but it's grown on me a fair bit. So.
Oh, beautiful. Hopefully it continues to build in popularity. Good luck on Thursday, good luck on Saturday, and probably more importantly, Pete, good luck trying to handle Eddie Rigg and Andrew Ingles for 4 days at a time.
Oh, yeah, we've got to keep Eddie quiet for a while, don't we? Too hard.
Good luck with that.
How do you do that?
Good luck. Yeah. Diggers coming up and falling over again or what?
No, I just fell over here at work, Pete, and I'm not even under the influence, so that's how well I'm going. Unfortunately, no. Marty and Rusty Collett are up there representing the station on Friday, I think, at the barbecue in the car park at the Tats Club, so unfortunately I won't be getting up there. Sadly, I would have liked to have, but unfortunately I'll be domiciled here in the metro area. So best of luck, mate. Great to have a chat to you this morning. You've had a wonderful season again. No shock there, and long may it continue.
Thanks, boys. See you later.
There's Peter Fernie with a nice, strong hand over the next couple of days, as you'd expect at the Kalgoorlie Boulder Racing Club. So tomorrow, probably the best pushers we got there. Race 3, number 9, what you're talking about, and then race 8, number 3, Lavish Charm, outside of Secret Attraction, who's in the market at the Hannans.
16 runners he's got, Pete.
So that's a quiet day.
Yeah, and he hasn't got a runner in race 2, but 16 runners on a big day there, Hannans Day, and the nominations from the Peter Fernie stable when they dropped yesterday for Kalgoorlie Cup Day far outweighed that. So now there'll be some that don't run, clearly, and Pete's still got to work through who's going to run there tomorrow. The horses have been nommed also for Saturday, but gee whiz, it's a dominant force in Kalgoorlie racing, isn't it, the Peter Fernie name?
Yeah, absolutely. Tony Triscari is one man that's trying to head to Kalgoorlie to hopefully take a Hannans off Peter Fernie from his perspective. Fast Flicker heads to the race after 2 runs this preparation. Tony, a very good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning, Taylor. How are you?
Yeah, I'm going very well. Probably more importantly, though, Fast Flicker. How's she going?
Yeah, she's going good, mate. Yeah, she's ticking along nicely.
The fact that she gets back on top of the ground in the Hannons, Tony, that must be to your liking?
Oh, for sure. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, she's most of her form's on good going, so yeah, I expect her to be quite competitive.
How has she trained on since we saw her recently?
Look, really well. She's obviously had a few setbacks this preparation with a few feet issues, but since the last run, she's done really well.
All right, so with those soft tracks in mind for the first two runs this preparation, have you given her a pass mark in both those runs?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I was really happy with the last run. We drew awkwardly, just had to go back and take our medicine, and I thought she hit the line really well.
Do you think she's up to winning a Hannons, Tony?
Absolutely. Yeah, we've set her for this race at the start of the prep, solely with the Hannons in mind.
Yep.
We missed the Farnley, unfortunately, but we just had to sort of switch around a little bit, but this is a race we've been aiming for.
All right, drawn a little bit sticky. Like last start, you have to take your medicine and hopefully get luck at the right time?
I don't think so. I think there's a little bit of pace there, but I'm hoping we can slot in sort of one out, couple back.
Okay, so that is Fast Flicker to be ridden by Stephen, 54.5 in the Hannons, so she does get in. Well, can I just ask you about Solar Crest, this daughter of Earthlight, trialled up recently. We saw her run some good races as a 2-year-old. What are you expecting fresh there tomorrow in race 2?
Oh, look, she's coming up mainly as a companion for Fast Flicker, but she's a horse with a fair amount of ability. She may be a run short, but I expect her to go very close.
All right, what's her best distance at this stage, do you think?
I still haven't worked that one out, but I reckon 1,200 or further, probably up to a mile at best.
All right, so you're more confident about Fast Flicker if our listeners were to have one bet there tomorrow?
Oh, look, I'd be disappointed if the first one couldn't win.
Yep.
With the way she works at home. Very hard to go into a Hannons too confident, but I think they're both really good chances.
And it sounds like you're on your way, is that right?
We are, mate, yep, we're on the road.
All right, and Burnbrae now, you've pulled Burnbrae out of tomorrow. Will we see Burnbrae at Northam?
Yeah, she'll go around at Northam, yep.
Okay, in that Class 3 mile. Tony, thank you so much for taking our call this morning. Drive safe and best of luck in Kalgoorlie.
Good on you. Thanks very much, fellas.
There's Tony Triscari. So Solar Crest goes around in race number 2, currently at 2:05 with Tab Touch the favourite. And then pretty positive report if you do like Fast Flicker there, getting back on top of the ground tomorrow. Going to be a little bit more positive from that wide draw, currently at $7.50 and $2.40.
I remember seeing Solar Crest as a yearling. Now, I had a little bit of a setback and couldn't go through the February sale, was sold in the winter sale, but as a specimen, gee whiz, she was a good type. She was a good type, and she's raced against some pretty handy ones as a 2-year-old. So the fact that she now hits a Kalgoorlie maiden, and as you heard from Tony there saying, you know, the work that she does at home needs to be respected. She might be a run short, but I think she's a horse that you can follow, Solar Crest.
Another daughter of Earthlight?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly right. So, yeah, she's a watch. She's a watch in that race. Beyond the Wall looks your likely leader. Has drawn the gate, probably gets the conditions to suit the 1,100 metres. Is it 100 metres too far? Well, possibly, but offsetting that is the fact that track, you know, if he jumps and runs, he might give them something to catch.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, and then that's probably bodes well for Solar Crest, as you heard from Tony there, probably maybe up to a mile, might see the best of her. So the faster they go over the 1,100 metres, you'd think would be the better. All right, we might take a short break and then we'll come back. Plenty of text messages to get to on the Retrovision text line, 0427 789 571, the number to get involved. We'll be back on the other side of these messages from our sponsors.
Today's Sports Daily for Darling View Thoroughbreds, the home of Playing God, Sprintex and Lightsaber. Go to darlingviewthoroughbreds.com.au for details.
All right, welcome back to the Sports Daily. Taylor, Cortland and Digby Beecham with you, approaching 8 o'clock. Text message here. Elvis is texting, just asking about Tatch Faithful and where she is. Is she injured?
Suspended back on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken, Tash.
Beautiful. And then No name on this text message, but can anyone go to the barbecue at the Tas Club on Friday, or is it invite only?
I think you can just... I don't know, but I imagine you could rock up. I don't think we're that posh and exclusive here at TAB Radio. I think Marty and Rusty would be happy to have a beer and something to eat with you.
Yeah.
Just rock up, have a beer.
Was it the Tats Club event, though, beforehand?
I'm not entirely sure. I should know. I don't know.
Rock up, worst thing that can happen, they say, go away.
Yeah, you go and have a beer.
Go across the road and have a beer.
Exactly right. Yeah, so rock up, say g'day.
Yep. All right, Jimmy, here we go. Morning, lads. I'm still struggling to find any reason as to why you guys gave a push for the Eagles to throw such a contract at Starcevic. Do you believe he will be anywhere near as good without the pillars he plays around at the moment? 3 or 4 best forward every week at the Eagles, he probably gets the best. So 3 or 4 best forwards every week at Brisbane, and now he comes to the Eagles and he probably plays on the best. Would be far keener on getting Neil in to be an on-field leader, standard lifter, clearly. Lockie Neal.
Who's that text from?
This is Jimmy.
Jimmy, well, one, you're not getting Lockie Neal. Lockie Neal doesn't want to come to West Coast. Brandon Starcevic does. And West Coast are in a position where they can financially offer Brandon Starcevic, injuries aside, a contract which turns his head. He's a WA boy. He wants to come home. Lockie Neal isn't a WA boy. Yes, we know he played here for Fremantle. And I wouldn't think that Brandon Starcevic is necessarily getting the best forward because it depends on which side you're playing. The best forward at North Melbourne is Nick Larkey. Brandon Starcevic isn't standing him. The best forward at GWS is Jesse Hogan. The best forward at Geelong is Jeremy Cameron. Yep. He's not getting those players. The other thing that might be also of interest to Brandon is perhaps a little bit of midfield time. He can push further up the ground. Now, is he able to be that big-bodied midfielder to offer Harley Reid some support? That might be dependent on whether Elliot Yeo can stand up. But Brandon Starcevic is a very fine footballer, and Brandon Starcevic is an even better person. So Brandon Starcevic adds enormous amount of credibility and leadership to the West Coast Eagles, provided he can get here.
He's not a hacker, is he? He's okay by foot.
He's okay by foot.
Yeah, that's what they need back there.
And one thing he is, his attention to detail. Like you could see him on the weekend. He was dialed in against Dangerfield.
There was 23 of them dialed in.
Yeah, very much so. But he's been a bloody good player for a long period of time, Brandon Starcevic.
I'd argue if he does get the best defender, he's pretty well equipped to take on the best forward anyway.
Yeah, he's a...
Dangerfield.
Put it this way, he, as a coach, you just put the magnet there and say, Brandon, you're playing this one. Now, Jamie Elliott's caused him some issues. Now, Jamie Elliott's caused a lot of defenders some issues, but by and large, he's a magnet. You say, Brandon, you're getting so-and-so this week, and you just leave him to his own devices. You know he'll prepare like a pro and he'll do a job on the weekend for you. Like, put it this way, Brisbane are hoping to keep Brandon. They'd like to keep Brandon Starcevic, but they're also realistic.
Devon Robinson?
Would be on his way out at Brisbane, you would think.
I think so.
And, look, Devon's a ripping fella, and he's been a serviceable player when he's been granted an opportunity at AFL level. If you're West Coast, for mine, he's a depth player, even though he would be coming from Brisbane. He's not turning the fortunes of your football club around. I'm sorry.
He can help lift the standards, though, can't he, coming from a club like Brisbane?
He could, but I just think he's not a great ball user, Devon. He's brave. He's honest. He's not quick. I would be looking elsewhere. I'm sorry. Personally.
On that list, I reckon he's playing round 1 for West Coast, though.
Yes. Depending on how many kids you get. Look, he would do. He would do. But I'm not sure he's part of your next final side.
If he wants to come home, though, you are taking him. Fred, I didn't want to bring this up, but Fred's texted in, Diggers. How quick did Reece Stanley look on Saturday running to get the red vest?
Well, he's your man, Reece Stanley.
Good player. When's the barrier draw for the Golden Saddle? So at some stage today, we've been in touch with the KBRC CEO, Craig Smith, today, and there's no sort of event going ahead. Racing WA are doing that, and we're not too sure as to why that wasn't done yesterday, because clearly that field has been confirmed and all the horses ready to go. So I presume it'll be around final fields a little bit later this morning. They'd have a have a barrier pop up, but we're just guessing at this stage. So hopefully before lunchtime today, and then that market won't be too far away from being really concluded. There is one in the futures tab with tab touch, but obviously by the time we get to this stage, if you haven't had a bet already, you're probably waiting for the barrier draw, I'd imagine.
Yeah, agree.
To have a bet on the Golden Saddle. So that's, in fact, it was up this morning. 325 was the favourite, Magnificent Andy, but has since been taken down by the looks of things. So hopefully that barrier draw not too far away there. Here we go. Raki from Q. Meriden Chinese, worth a 6-hour round trip.
What?
Meriden Chinese.
6-hour round trip.
Yeah.
Raki.
That must be good Chinese.
Raki, come on.
Wow.
Wowee.
What about the fried duck there? It must be pretty good.
Yeah. The rice must be outstanding. 6-hour round trip for Chinese.
Special fried. You can't have fried rice without prawns as well.
Right, okay.
Wow. There was one here. Just can't find it at the moment. It was asking about the Tim Kelly trade.
Yeah.
Comparing it to Christian Petrarca.
Tim Kelly trade, Christian
How would you
Petrarca.
compare the Tim Kelly trade to West Coast to Petrarca to the Crows?
That's a really good question.
What did West Coast give up?
Oh, a lot. And I think 9 or 10 of their players took pay cuts of up to around $50,000 to accommodate Tim's salary as well. Hasn't been the success that West Coast would have liked, albeit I think he has won one John Worsfold medal, Tim. I would think Christian Petrarca has probably still got a bit more to offer than what Tim did, even though Tim was perhaps at the peak of his powers. I think Christian has been a better player over a longer period of time, so there's a body of work from which to operate with Christian, whereas Tim was back at West Coast after 2 seasons.
Yeah.
I think it was just the 2.
Probably couldn't envision what was going to happen there at West Coast, though, to be fair, could you? When Tim Kelly got there, at the time, the Tim Kelly trade looked a good one for West Coast. It did,
and and again, people pot West Coast for it. It hasn't worked, but look, they had a crack. Yep. I don't mind clubs having a crack and trying to get better, and that's what they did. Yep. And it just didn't work, but that's okay. That's part of professional sport. Sometimes you identify a player or players thinking they're going to boost your fortunes, and they don't. You can't be hung for that.
No, exactly right. All right, we'll head to the news and come back to the Sports Daily on the other side.
Today's Sports Daily for Darling View Thoroughbreds, the home of Playing God, Splintex and Lightsaber. Go to darlingviewthoroughbreds.com.au for details.
Welcome back to the Sports Daily. We'll be diving into the form for the Geraldton meeting very, very shortly. Graeme Hammarquist, a special guest to join us, but still a couple of text messages just to get through before then. Of course, you are taking on Michael Heaton today for a chance at a $100 tab touch voucher at the end of the week. His best is race 4, number 6, 12 under, resuming for Alan Hughes. Was able to run some nice races up there in Geraldton last preparation. Yep. If able to return to the races in that sort of form, does look hard to beat. Greg Alley's got in touch again. Diggers has had more trips over the years than Catarona, Rowntree off Getaway.
Katrina Rowntree. It wasn't my fault, that last one. It was very wet. You saw me. I was just going to the toilet and it...
Wasn't your fault. Who else's fault was it? Every Wednesday gets cleaned in here.
Yeah, but...
They mop every Wednesday, the cleaners. They do a great job of it.
I'm not disputing that, but
So don't sprint around the corner.
I didn't sprint. I just slipped and fell over.
Whose fault was it in Kalgoorlie last time?
Mine. Yeah, it was mine. That was a long time ago now, though.
Tats Club might not be that happy with you either.
Oh, there. Someone said it might be a ticketed event. Well, I didn't know that. Well, I have heard the ad, but I wasn't sure that it was a ticketed event. I thought you could just rock up. In all due respect, it's not Beverly Hills. It's Kalgoorlie. Rock up, have a beer. I'm sure they'll let you in. Or not.
What do they do in Beverly Hills?
Turn you away.
Do they?
I believe so.
Jeez,
that's quite exclusive.
Yeah.
Well, respectfully, it's go and have a beer. I'm sure Martin, that will sneak you in. Or not.
Just cut a hole in the fence.
He really did when you were going to a grand final. Just climb through the fence.
Yeah, me. Well, tune in to Drive this afternoon. Marty will have all the answers for you. Text in.
We can send you Marty's number if you want to give him a ring.
Yeah. Street drinking illegal still?
No, it's fine.
That's fine. All right.
Yep.
All right, Mark text in. Agree with Jimmy on Starcevic. You mentioned yesterday 6 years at $900,000 per year. West Coast have made a number of poor decisions that are still coming home to roost. This would be another one, in my opinion. Very mixed. I thought it'd be pretty positive around Starcevic.
What's the knock on Starcevic? Is it because of the concussions? Do you think people are a little bit reticent to see him get tabled a long-term offer?
Possibly. Well, it sounds like the $900,000 a year might be a sticking point for Mark there, just judging off that text message, not trying to put words into his mouth. But as we spoke about over the last couple of days, I think clubs are pretty well aware of this situation now, and West Coast probably more so than anyone else with the situation around Jeremy McGovern. You'd put things in the contract there that would help you and mitigate anything that happens out of your control.
Harley Reid's side. Tell me someone else at West Coast who is on north of 800 a season. Liam Baker would be probably right in that space.
Well, this is the thing we spoke about yesterday, the fact that you have to spend 95% of your salary cap. There's probably players there that would, although now Jeremy McGovern leaves, that would open up quite a big hole in the salary cap.
Yeah, and don't think for one moment West Coast have gone, Brandon Starcevic, he's available, he's a West Australian, okay, we'll give him 6 years at 900, 5 point whatever. Like, this is list management decisions are made 2-3 years in advance. So West Coast would have been well aware of Brandon Starcevic's acceptance that maybe his time in Brisbane was coming to an end and he was keen to come home. The Jeremy McGovern situation, that became apparent mid-year. So there's money in the cap there at West Coast. Now, we're not saying they're offering him 1.4, 1.5. 900,000, it sounds a lot. It is a lot. But in 2 or 3 years' time, 900,000 a year, it's not going to be the exorbitant amount that it sounds right here, right now.
No, exactly right. All right. Thank goodness Shane Warren's listening. President of the Tats Club. No. Anyone can come in for a beer at the front bar for the historic Tats Club on Fish Day.
There you go.
Have a beer.
Have a beer and pinch someone's ticket and go out to the car park. Shane wouldn't mind that. It's a great spot, the Tats Club.
It is.
It's a great spot.
Trying to set up a nice event and you're trying to ruin it.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying go along, have a beer. You can go to the front bar and then...
Slammers text in, just give West Coast the premiership. What a joke. Poor list management, so let's give them assistance. They hung on to their players, including the coach, too long after winning the premiership in 2018. So as a result, they get more draft picks. They get pick 1, 2 for Oscar Allen, 15, and they get 19 and 20 as well. Rewarding incompetence. Slammer's gone hard.
Yeah. Look, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the right answer is. I actually don't know, TC. Do we want to see, and I see both sides of this argument, but do we want to see, West Coast just be horrible for years and years and years? I don't know. I'm not sure. Look, one thing that caught the eye yesterday when the AFL announced that they were handing West Coast some assistance was the fact that West Coast admitted that they were investing significantly in their football department above the soft cap. So they're paying a tax, like they're doing everything that they can from their end to expedite the development of this group. So they're doing everything that they can. Now they just need to identify the best talent and, again, develop that talent. So this is a one-off here. Like, there won't be any more forthcoming, so they need to nail it. They need to get it right. If they don't, this club's in all sorts. But history says they'll find a way.
All right, also from Shane, tickets are now on sale for both the Tap Touch Hannan's Handicap and Swan Draft Kalgoorlie Cup Calcutta draws. Tickets are $10 each or $50 per book, so get into the club to secure your tickets. There's full bar and tab facilities available, obviously, in the race round. Trading hours are up to Wednesday, so the clubs open at 12 p.m, Thursday 12 p.m. till close as well, and then Friday 12 p.m. until close for the next couple of days. They're the Tats Club for the Calcuttas.
Brilliant.
That's for Kalgoorlie. Plenty of racing happening there, and of course, a little bit north of where we are at the moment, it's opening day.
This midweek Metropolitan Preview on the Sports Daily is presented by Tab Touch.
All right, taking a look at the Geraldton Turf Club opening meeting. 7 races on the program. We won't waste any time, Diggers, getting to our special guest who's on the line. Takes a nice team to the first meeting of the season. Graeme Hammarquist joins us. Hammer, good morning to you.
Good morning, boys. How are we?
Very well, Graeme. Great to have a chat. Fresh off what was a successful time at Carnarvon. How's the team shaping up on this Wednesday at Geraldton?
Oh, they're all come along quite good. While I was in Carnarvon, I had my daughter and Brett Mainwaring kept the horses rolling along good. So for the Geraldton season, so it's always early in the season. Sometimes they need that run under their belt before they start hitting their peak. But hopefully we're very close. And one in particular, he was going around in Carnarvon, and he went very well up there with a couple of wins and a fourth place. So hopefully he's going to put his best foot forward today as well.
What are the numbers like up there in Geraldton this year, and riders and being able to work your horses? Everything going okay?
It's a bit limited in that department. I think everybody's struggling just that little bit. There just never seems to be enough track riders. I'm fairly lucky, but I know a lot of other people aren't. They sort of very hit and miss. It's very hard to make a program work, as you would understand, if you can't actually do what you want when you want.
Yeah, for sure. What about the horse population, Graeme? What's it look like?
It seems to be plenty of them floating around, yeah
good.
I sort of said I was going to restrict myself to about 8 or 10, and I've got 16 or something. So, no, we're floating along all right.
Good to hear, good to hear. Now, a fresh horse to the scene for yourself, or a couple, in race 1, this 1113-metre maiden, Chinese Dentist, formerly with Adam, and also on the gold. Can you just talk through the prospect of these two, please? You just said they're both new to me, so all I can say is they've both been working extremely well. I worked them side by side the other morning, gave them a little sprint up the straight there and at the race course, and they both went very well. But whether they can convert that to race day seems to be one of their little problems. But Chinese Dentist is certainly putting his best foot forward. Now the little bloke, as you would see by his thing, he hasn't done a lot, but hopefully, with a change of scenery and change of everything, we might be able to get him to do something today. I'm certainly hoping we can for the owners.
Do you have a leaning one way or the other? With Chinese Dentist, you'd expect to beat on the day?
They're pretty much equal, but I would lean towards the Chinese man, yeah.
Yeah, all right, race number 4, a lot of class, drawn gate 1. Maybe this race is a little bit short of a lot of classes' best distance, but can you make a case fresh?
That's what I'm sort of hoping. Make a bit of a case fresh, but I'm not going to be unrealistic about it. He likes the 1600 metres, but I do like to start him around the 12 first up, and then into a 14 if possible, and then into the 16s to build him. So you got to start there. He's fresh, so we can just hope that he's certainly going to run in the first 3 with a bit of luck.
Graeme, a horse that you referenced a little bit earlier in this chat that performed well at Carnarvon and also ran a 4th was Gold Spy. Comes back from the dirt to the turf. What are you expecting?
I've chucked young Jefferson on, who is riding extremely well, the young lad. I've chucked him on to get the extra weight off. It is a little bit hard to say, but because I haven't had him on grass as yet, so I don't know his performance. He did run over east there, and he's run some nice races and running second, on the grass. So I can only hope that transforms over here, and he's not going to be a complete dirt horse, because he's certainly proved himself on the dirt.
In your years of training, how many or the percentage of horses that make a successful transition from the dirt to the turf early into the grass, campaign?
Well, I reckon I'd have to be very honest and say that we'd only be talking 50%.
Yeah.
A lot of them just don't they'll either love the dirt or they'll love the grass. There's the odd one that'll do both. There's no problem about that. But, yeah, a lot of the horses I take to Carnarvon that do very, very well, I bring them back to Geraldton, and they basically can't run a drum. And you think, oh, well, maybe he's had his time, take him back to Carnarvon the following year, and they start winning races again. So it just proves the point that, some of them just actually do love the dirt for some unknown reason.
Yeah, well, Southern Scandal loved the dirt. Was pretty good in Carnarvon early on in the season. Now returns fresh there today at Geraldton in race number 7. Do you expect Southern Scandal can put forward a forward showing?
I would hope so. He went to Carnarvon as you know, and done two starts for the 2 wins up there. He also won in Geraldton before I went up there. So whether he might need this little run under his belt, but I don't think, not the way he's working. He certainly doesn't seem like he needs a run under his belt. He's done everything right, ticked all the boxes. So going to go out there today and see what happens. The Kira's ridden him to these 3 wins, so same jock, same horse. So let's see what we can do.
Who's the best of your team today, Graeme?
I'd have to be looking at Scandal. I think he's only because of the he's a proven Geraldton horse. So and he's one of the 50 percenters that will go both. Do either. So yeah. Well, I'd put him in just in front of Gold Spy, I think.
All right. All the best today and all the best for the rest of the season, Graeme, but I'm sure we'll catch up very, very shortly.
No worries, boys. You all have a good day.
Yeah, absolutely. There's Graeme Hammarquist. So that's probably the main question we need to answer, Dick, is the form from Carnarvon and how much do the horses love the transition back to the turf, but I think probably more importantly, how much does race fitness, how much weight do you put on race fitness?
I think you need to tread warily today. Like, if you are having a bet, make sure you do it responsibly, of course, with Tab Touch. But it's a difficult one today because you've got a lot of these local horses. Some are coming back from Carnarvon. Others haven't been to the trials. And then you get the horses that have been racing down here in a stronger jurisdiction heading up there. And they're the usual suspects. Horses from Adams, Ben and Dan, Merrill, Ashley. And it's just hard to sort of line up that form early on, but we'll do our best.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a couple of bets still on the program we might be able to have. Hopefully they work out all right. Race number 1 today at Geraldton, the Tab Touch Maiden. It's over the 1,100 metres, a little bit further than that. $1.50 is the favourite Celebrity Angel, $4.80 She's a Trooper, $9.50 Gingerific, $12 Dixie Princess, Big Bopper at $15, and then Chinese Dentist, who you heard there from Graeme Hammarquist, working well at $18.
Yeah, and look, Gingerific is the one that the market is all over, and you can understand why.
Celebrity Angel,
running second behind True Fiction, and we saw what True Fiction was actually able to do, TC, on Saturday in that 3-year-old 1,400 metre plate, running third, beaten, 2 3/4, so beaten convincingly, but beaten by a horse who looks like he's got some upside.
Yeah.
So Celebrity Angel carries 51 kilos after the claim. Third up, has run second behind Spicy Fang, who we know is fast, and then second behind True Fiction, only beaten a quarter of a length. So I would have thought that this filly, by Universal Ruler, out of a family that the Pierces know particularly well, was your starting point.
Yeah, absolutely. The market says that. You're not diving into $1.50, you wouldn't think, but that form line looks pretty strong. And then you mentioned Spicy Thing, went to a Saturday race and was really well backed on that occasion. So the market liked that form from gate number 8. Holy Noddle, I expected to probably settle in the first 2 again, up to the 1,100 metres there at Geraldton, and give this horse every possible chance to kick off the season as a winner. I thought the price about Chinese Dentist was pretty big.
Yes.
First up, last preparation in a maiden over the 1,100 metres. Got a long way back behind Aphrodite Magic, but I thought the way the horse hit the line was really impressive with the claim down to 55 kilos. If for some reason they go too hard out in front over the 1,100 metres, he might be the one hitting the line hard. I thought the $18 was over the odds. Number 6, She's a Trooper, has trialled okay. Gets the benefit of that trial heading to the races today from gate number 3. Should be able to stalk the speed. And then number 10, Gingerific, I suppose. If you like the form line of Celebrity Angel, you probably need to put Gingerific in your numbers too from gate 2. Should enjoy a soft run. So 9, 2, 6 and 10 for me in the first.
I went...
Sorry,
T. So I went 9, 10, 6, 5. So similar to yourself, I went Celebrity Angel from Gingerific, the 2 Ben and Dan Pearce trained horses. And then I went to 6, She's a Trooper. Now, has had a trial. We haven't seen this mare, who's only had the 2 starts, run since the 27th of November last year, but trialled up okay recently. 63.70. Wasn't fast time, albeit was on a 5 there at Belmont behind Sea of Galilee, beaten Not far. So, barrier 3, I respect the fact that Merrill and Lactar link up, and I've got 5, Dixie Princess. No first up form, but the form last time in work was sound enough, albeit she is a 23-start maiden. Respecting Chinese Dentist, wouldn't be a shock if this fellow is able to find his right home there in Geraldton. It was a $230,000 yearling purchase, Chinese Dentist. So there was something about him that did appeal. But look, I thought it was a pretty skinny little maiden to start with, 9, 10, 6 and 5.
So Chinese Dentist cost $230.
Correct.
Okay, so that's
the name.
That's very well named, isn't it?
Yes.
Well done. All right, so I'm 9, 2, 6 and 10 in the opener. I think more so we're watching this race and we might be able to get some track intel if we're favouring those on speed or maybe those making ground. We'll get out to the traffic. Soph's just making the call now, so we might wait for race number 2, but $2.70 Flaming Rhonda is the favourite. Hot Jelly Shot is scratched in the second. It's the Western Race Picks maiden over the 1,400 metres. So we'll take a look at that after the traffic update. Just a reminder, you are taking on Michael Heaton today. His best race, 4 number 6, 12 under, 0427 789 571. The number for the Retrovision text line. Of course, if you are successful today, you'll go into the draw for a $100 Tab Touch voucher, and that will be organised on Friday. We'll be back with more of these races from Geraldton on the other side of this.
This midweek Metropolitan Preview on the Sports Daily is presented by Tab Touch.
All right, you just heard Matty Mack there, the opening meeting of the Geraldton Turf Club season today. We've taken a look at race number 1, both Digby and myself, with a short price favourite at $1.50 in the first. Race number 2, as we mentioned, the Western Race Picks maiden over the 1,400 metres. You can scratch number 9. 270 Flaming Rhonda is the favourite. 380 Must Be Nice. 460 Desert Madame. Cantilever at $4.80. He's a Grunt at $8.50, 23 and up the remainder of the field in race number 2.
This, I thought, was a difficult race, TC, because I'd convinced myself Cantilever could play a part. I thought the form lines that this fellow showed during the winter would suggest that he's got a part to play here, but we haven't seen him at the trials. If you go back first up, ran behind Triple the Chant. Now, we've seen Triple the Chant go to the races on Saturdays and show what she is well and truly capable of. And then most recently, on the 30th of July, on a quick spin, ran second behind Impressive Jewel. Now, Impressive Jewel ran 4th in a Belmont Oaks and then was able to break through in a maiden when heavily supported, and then ran second in a no Metro win race. So I thought the form lines for a horse of Cantilever's ability would suggest that he's got a part to play in this race. I like the fact that he only carries 56.5 after the claim of Zeph and Johnston Porter. In saying that, Flaming Rhonda, rock hard fit, going along okay, Must Be Nice, caught the eye, hitting the line behind He's a Phoenix, and we referenced He's a Phoenix going to the races on Saturday and saluting. So I thought this was a tricky little race to dissect.
Yeah, it was. I thought that was sort of 4 chances, and the market have nailed those chances. I wouldn't be surprised if any of those top 4 in the market win the race. I landed on Must Be Nice, so convinced myself that up to the 1,400 metres from that good draw should be able to settle a little bit closer. And watching that race there last time, I thought the 1,400 metres looked to suit a little bit better. Now, first up, that was on a heavy track, so we're still yet to know if this gelding gets on top of the ground, is he going to be better, or is he going to improve, or was a heavy track, will he enjoy a heavy track in his career? But he was able to reel off the best final 200-metre split of that race last time out, and third in that race was Mr. Kissinger. So the form's been franked. If Luke Campbell is able to settle this horse a little bit closer to the speed and just stalk them and hopefully be strong at the end of 1,400 metres, I thought he'd be the way to go in this race. I'll put in number 6, Next Best, Desert Madame. I thought this mare might be able to lead. The first up effort, beaten 8 lengths, but just wasn't able to build momentum at any stage of that race over the 1,200. Drawn 1, just didn't work out. I decided to put a line through that race and did travel to Geraldton last time out and ran into Gold Chain, who was a nice horse at the end of the season last year. So I think that form line's okay. I thought if able to find the top and dictate with Holly Noddle's claim, should be able to give some cheek out in front. 7, Flaming Rhonda. Not sure about the form lines. That's probably my one knock, but it's going to get every chance from barrier number 1. 2 starts ago, did finish just on the heels of Exquisite Taste, who did come out and win, and Moonshine Queen did come out of that race and win as well. So Rock Hard Fit's going to be clearly an advantage up there at Geraldton today. And then number 2, Cantilever, as you said, didn't give up the chase behind Impressive Jewel last time out as well. But clearly, with a lot of these horses today, your question mark is going to be how fit are they and the concussion plates go on. So we speak about it all the time with the feet there of the horses. It's never a great thing. But sided with the 5 must be nice that we're almost touching $4. If we do get $4, I think on a program where you mentioned off the top diggers, it might be hard to find a few bets. I thought must be nice might be one of those.
Yep, fair enough. I'm the same 4 different order. I went Cantilever. 2 on top from 5 must be nice. You've made a good case there. 7 Flaming Ronda gets here 4th up. Low draw. Lactar rides Geraldton well. And 6 Desert Madame 2nd up. But 2, 5, 7 and 6 for me in the second.
All right, that's race number 2. Race number 3, Geraldton, congratulations. Congratulations, Brigades, GNFL Premiers 2025.
They were your arch enemy, were they?
Oh, well, they beat Railways. So.
And you're a Railways boy?
Yeah, Railways are almost 4 goals up halfway through the third quarter, but whatever, doesn't matter. 1,400 metres, $2.40 Talk to Win, $2.75 Pat's Last Bang, $4 Gav Has Spoken. Double figures, the remainder $11 Tiger Line, $16 Viva Rock, $23 Battle on Battler, and Calico's Girl at $26. Market moves, Pat's Last Bang, $3.60 into $2.75. Pretty solid, the favourite, $3.60 out to $4. Gav Has Spoken. So Pat's Last Bang, we know Ash Maley and his strike rate heading up there to Geraldton in previous years. So I'm sure he's hoping that continues.
Yeah, very much so. Look, I thought this was a really good opportunity for Talk to win again, to be fair. This fellow now, he is deep into a campaign. He's going to strike a good track. He's duck egg from 3 previous attempts, but I thought from that barrier, Talk to Win could stalk Pat's Last Bang. Recently, behind Sandfire Rose was fair enough. Broke through at Class 1 company the start prior, beating What's the Point now. To be fair, What's the Point probably hasn't stepped up in his last couple of runs to frank that form. But we spoke yesterday about horses 14 back to 12 or 16 back to 14. This is 1,650 back to 1,413. So I would have thought 3 weeks between runs, it's a wonderful opportunity for this horse to be nice and strong at the back end of 1,400 metres. Rock hard fit, no weight after the claim, or just 57 after the claim when you go to the country like this. I'd be disappointed if Talk to Win wasn't ultra competitive here.
Do you expect Holly Noddle to take the sit on Pat's Last Bang?
I thought so.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought Pat's Last Bang has got that 1,400 metre speed and was ridden really aggressively, and Maddie likes to let her horses position all over the pace, and I would have thought this is a great opportunity for Talk to Win to have her toe ball there.
Yeah, just what you mentioned there about the good track, that sort of swayed me elsewhere, just hasn't been able to figure in the placings. No. I just thought maybe a length or 2 off his best, Talk to Win on a good track, but maybe that might still be good enough. In Geraldton today, as we mentioned, rock hard fit horse, so, and he's going to get the perfect run, so he's going to get every possible chance. I just sided with a little bit more value in my eyes, and Gav Has Spoken. I thought the first up run was really good in Class 3 company on a soft 5. Look, was beaten 6 lengths, but that was by Elite 1, who's just gone to a completely different level this preparation, and I thought made some good ground late in that race. Put a line through the last up effort on a heavy 8 at about the 400 metre mark there, almost went through the fence, just copped a knock and then just was out of the race from then on. Has gone to Geraldton on 2 occasions, has won on 2 occasions and gets back on top of the ground. The gate 7 of 7 is a little bit sticky, but Troy Turner in Geraldton, I'll let him work that out, and usually it works out okay. So I'll go with Gav Has Spoken to beat Talk to Win, Pat's Last Bang, and then I've thrown in Viva Rock. I thought it was between the first 3 in the selections there, but maybe Viva Rock might be running on and hitting the line hard. Clearly best form over a little bit further last preparation. But number 4, Gav Has Spoken on top for me. 4, 2, 5, 6.
2, 4, 5, 1 for me. Talk to Win on top from Gav Has Spoken. Luckless last start. The start prior in Class 3 company behind Elite 1. A subsequent Saturday winner was good. 5, Pat's Last Bang will find the top, give a kick. And 1, Tiger Line. Can be a bit clunky, this horse. Has moved on from Grant and Alana's yard now with Julia Martin, who has a strong hand there today. 1,400 fresh for a horse, so he's got over a little bit further than this. I didn't mind. 2, 4, 5, 1.
All right, 1,200 metres race number 4 there at Geraldton. Varley Noel Burton Handicap, Class 1. $3.90, 12 under is the favourite. Michael Heaton's best. You are taking him on today, so $5 into $3.90. $3.50 out to $4, He Will Do Us. $4.60 out to $5.50, Kimberley Currency. $8 into 7, a lot of class. $10 into 8, Finance Legend. Double figures and up the remainder of the field. thought this was a race of two chances. They're at the top of the market, Diggers. One's going to be close to leading or settling in the first two, 12 under. He Will Do Us will be near on last.
Yeah.
Comes off a really nice trial.
Yeah, good trial behind Serpedo Express. He Will Do Us. Any love for Kimberley Currency from you or not?
Not for me. I thought it was between the top two in the market for mine, albeit that run behind Black Aura, which form sort of stands out in a race like this, I didn't think was too bad. And then you get Troy Turner jump on from gate number 3, should be able to settle a lot closer than what he was able to do last time in.
Yeah, carried 55 on that occasion, 59 today, and has to rise to the 1,213 as opposed to 1,000, which is probably the preferred trip for Kimberley Currency. But I thought maybe the benefit of that run and the fact that this horse has had 3 goes since late August to get here, and again, Ash Maley's had success in Geraldton previously, as has Troy. We know that Troy rides Geraldton better than any other rider, and I just thought from a low draw, Kimberley Currency wasn't the worst each way play. Currently $5.50 and 2.10 with Tab Touch.
Yeah, I was with Michael. I thought 12 under would be pretty hard to beat. As I mentioned, looks to settle in the first two. If we go back, December to April, so a little bit of a spell, probably had a little bit more residual fitness in that run in April than what she goes to the race, with today. But that first up run last time in with a lightweight was pretty good behind Deep Discretion, who played a role in some okay races up there last preparation, and then was a dominant winner second up over the 1100 when leading 1 by 4. That was maiden, so he does need a step up in class. But look, I thought the horse might be able to be one here in this field that might be able to go on to bigger and better races there in Geraldton, and with Austin Gallardi having to carry a little bit more weight than what 12 under was having to carry last preparation, should be able to give a sight.
Well, I think Chanel would have been in line to ride 12 under along with Alan's others today, but we know that she started a suspension midnight Monday. So she'll be out of action until we get back to Ascot, and that'll be great to see her along with Zephyr and Amy Jo Hayes plying their trade on a Saturday there at headquarters. But I certainly take your point in 12 under. It is Michael Heaton's best of the day. I take it it's on top for you as well, TC?
Yeah, 6, 1, 4 and 2 for me. 12 under on top to beat He Will Do Us. Just probably the defining factor was where they're going to settle in the run.
No. Fair enough. Look, I fully expect that 12 under is going to be popular, and Alan does have a knack of getting his horses ready to rock and roll early in their campaigns. I just went the other way, Kimberley Currency, by virtue of the fact that this fellow's had some runs this time in. He's got a good jockey, he's got a gun gate, and he'll just park behind that speed, and hopefully he can prove that he's capable of running good races beyond the 1,000 metres. So 4 on top each way from 6, 12 under, 1 He Will Do Us, and 5 Shishino. Broke that maiden at the most recent time we saw her. Now Willie Parker, Matty Derrick combined today. Again, you would think that Shishino is going to get a nice run. 4, 6, 1 and 5.
All right, that's in race number 4, 6, 1, 4 and 2 for me. A previous race, good friend of both of ours, Diggers, Travis Bettersworth's got in touch and says most of Julia Martin's horses wear the concussion plate, so no worries at all there.
Okay.
All right, race number 5, Courtney Keefe, Elders Real Estate Handicap, 1,400 metres at Journey. It is a 48-plus rated event. 58, I should say. Now, well supported, open at $7, Divine in Anna.
It's
see that?
Yeah, albeit she doesn't win out of turn.
No, $2.75 now, though, so that's a good go.
It's a good go.
$3.40 out to $3.50, so pretty solid. Gold Spire, $14 into 7 Key Trade, $11 into $7.50 Never Sober, $3 out to $7.50 Amali Miss. So there's been a fair bit going on in this market, but the favourite is Divine and Anna.
And you can understand why, because importantly this mare gets back on top of the ground. We know that she likes to race on good tracks. She'll get afforded that opportunity today. Recently was only beaten 3 3/4 behind Centrebon. And I know we take the mickey out of Centrebon, but Centrebon then went into Graduation Company on Saturday and ran second. So that form line, and again, Merrill, Lactar combined, we're talking about horses fresh, where are they at in their preparation, how much improvement have they got to come? You'd think a fair bit, whereas Divine and Anna's got 2 runs under her belt this time in and is going to do no work from that gate.
Yep, exactly right. That was why I had on top and probably the best of the day for me. $2.75, you're probably taking rock bottom odds at the moment, but typically you like to side with those up on speed there at Geraldton if they're able to get a nice easy lead, and it looks like if Lactar's not leading, he's going to be very close to the speed and be able to control it. 1,400 metres probably right on the edge of her distance range, but should get all the favours and third up last preparation was able to run a peak rating. So expecting that to happen again. Has been to Geraldton on 2 occasions before and is a winner. So ticks a lot of boxes for a horse that's only won twice from 31 starts. So as confident as you can be about a horse with that sort of strike rate. Divine and Anna finds a nice race to hopefully chalk up win number 3 of her career. I've put in the 8 for second, Amali Miss, but I'm not too sure what to make of the horse. I think the most recent trial was good, got back, hit the line well, but had plenty of residual fitness, so you'd think the horse going to that sort of trial would perform as she did. Just seems like Adam's just trying to get a grasp back on her, and I'm not too sure where she's at, but if she's able to return to any of her best form, it'd be awfully competitive, and clearly the Class 3 events that she contested in July and August, this is probably an easier assignment.
I think so, and also maybe it's a case of Adam, who's had success in Geraldton, and he's a regular there. He's probably identified a couple of horses who have gone well previously, and we'll touch on one in the next race in a second, but Amali Miss has been to Geraldton previously, and the fact that she had a couple of runs in the winter, trialer, and then attacked the Geraldton season, and that looks like a plan, a thought-out plan from Adam here.
Well, Joey has a party, goes up there probably 5 times a year, and he cleans up every time he goes up there, so that's clearly a good push as well. I thought number 2, Gold Spy, next best. Wasn't too sure what to make of the Carnarvon form, to be honest, but does need to tick that box, getting back on top of the ground, back on the turf. Likely to get back, but should be hitting the line hard, taking advantage of the claim there for Jefferson. And then number 9, next best for me, Miff Mufford. Move probably a little bit early in the campaign to see this mare's best, but her best up there in Geraldton's still pretty good. 4, 8, 2 and 9 for me.
4, Divine and Anna. Keen also about her prospects today. I actually have Key Trade in for second. The old boy's going well now. Again, that's Carnarvon form, but you go back to the first up run in the Stu Maver Memorial, ran 6th of 9 on that occasion, beaten 2 by Oscar Charlie. We had a good chat to Chris earlier today, Chris Gangemi, about Oscar Charlie. Yep. He had a really good time of it, and then ran second in the Carnarvon Sprint, beaten a length behind the Coolican King. Now, barrier 2, carries just 59 kilos. He is a country-rated 76 galloper, so after the 4-kilo claim for young Gian O'Donnell, he actually gets in really well, and he's got race fitness. So I think he's a respect here, Key Trade. 2, Gold Spy. We spoke to Graham, and 8, Amali Miss. 4, 1, 2 and 8. I didn't think it was a bad little race. No, a little bit of depth here, and probably going to pop up a few horses we can follow a little bit later into the Geraldton season, but 4, 8, 2 and 9 for me. We'll put an asterisk next to Divine and Nana. Race number 6 on the program. Thank you, Witten's Irrigation Design Handicap, a 70-plus rated event over the 1,100 metres. $4.60 into $3.20 under influence. Snippy Witch, $2.80 out to $3.20. One More Too Many, $3.40, opened at $6. Prince Ragnar, $8, and Solid Patchwork at 11, opened at $7.50. So has been the drifter in this race. This is a nice race as well. Yeah, it is a good race. Well, you've got Under Influence going to this race.
Yeah.
Under Influence has been racing around in 66-plus grade and most recently in 72-plus grade behind KTY. And I think we all expect that KTY will find his way to Black Type Company this time in. He's a really exciting horse trained by Adam. The issue with Under Influence, despite that low draw, is the fact that he just has no early toe. He settles in a reeled position, therefore gives away a significant advantage to his opposition, and I suspect one of those horses today that he is going to be spotting a lead, or certainly a few lengths, is Snippy Witch. Now, this horse has trialled up really well. Both trials have been good. The most recent one, he caught the eye. He's a fresh horse. He's now a gelding, and he's been to Geraldton previously and gone particularly well. So, you mentioned Joey has a party. Adam Durant, 58 kilos, barrier 5, good fresh record, good track record. I thought he was the best of the day, the 3, Snippy Witch.
I would think Joey is going to Geraldton for this, like this was the main ride, and putting the hopes mostly on Snippy Witch, I'd imagine, without knowing.
Yeah, look, I think Adam would have said, I'm taking a few, I'd like you to go. Obviously, his former apprentice, and when you mention Snippy Witch, who Joe does know very well, I think that would be the one that turns the head, yes.
Yeah, the Geraldton wins rated really well last time in, and you mentioned gelding, fresh horse, trialled really well, a lot of ticks, and I think this race sets up beautifully for Snippy Witch. From that draw, should be able to set a midfield, and any time Prince Ragnar's in the race, you're going to get a race with pretty good tempo over the 1,100 metres, which suits Snippy Witch as well. 3, I'll put Patchwork in for seconds. Double figure odds, I thought was just a big price. I just thought represented the value in the race. First up last preparation was able to win over 1,100 metres. 70 plus, carried 56.5. So carries 55 there. So if she's able to repeat anything like that, she's got a good turn of foot. She's a good Geraldton mare. So I thought she was the value. 2 under influence, sort of in the talk to win category for me. I thought maybe just a length or 2 off his absolute best on a good track. But clearly, we go back, 4 starts ago, beaten a length by Maddie Girl. I think Maddie Girl goes to a summer scorcher, doesn't she? So that form's certainly good enough for Geraldton. And then number 5, One More Too Many. Expecting this horse to win plenty of races up there in Geraldton. Showed plenty as a juvenile. Go back, to last preparation, was beaten 3 lengths None So Spicy and less than a length Miss Flirtatious. Again, really good form. But competitive race, Snippy Witch on top for me, 3, 7, 2 and 5.
Same 4, 3, 2, 7 and 5. One More Too Many. Win a Crystal Slipper?
I reckon he did, yeah.
Yeah, with Neville. So Magic
Millions went around in the market.
Yeah.
Had no luck.
No, it's a good race. Like you talk about horses, like Under Influence, he's a 6-year-old. He's only a Class 5. He's won 237,000 in stakes. Snippy Witch has won 160 plus another 100 in bonuses. He, like Under Influence, is a Class 5 horse, and they've still got plenty of racing ahead of him. It's a good race, but really keen here, Snippy Witch. 3, 2, 7 and 5.
Race number 7 on the program, Ladies' Day, Sunday, 12th of October. Handicap, 58 plus rated event, 1,100 metres. The Journey, 320 into 245. Southern Scandal. We spoke to Graeme Hammarquist a little bit earlier. Gave a good push for that horse. Probably his best chance on the day. 3.10 Lucky Florin, $6 Master Alex Spirit Man at $14. Heads the remainder. Cozzy's Choice, not without a chance, at $15.
Graeme was quite keen about the prospects of Southern Scandal when we spoke to him just after 8 o'clock. Lucky Florin is a horse who had shown ability, and you're wondering last time, wonder when we're going to see Lucky Florin get back to that level. And then he rounded out that campaign with 3 successive wins for Lisa, and she links up with him again today. Now, no trial, so we're speculating a little bit as to how forward Lucky Florin is, but if he's anywhere near his top, and he might not even have to be anywhere near his top, if he's somewhere in the vicinity of it, you'd think he has a part to play over the 1,113.
Well, you go back to the race, that Lucky Florin last one on the 23rd of April, 3rd with Southern Scandal, and Lucky Florin now on the back of Southern Scandal going to Carnarvon and winning a few races, meets that horse 3 kilos better. Now that's deep into a preparation,
yes.
So you've got the question marks of both of the horses being first up, but clearly the form lines, if both of them are at their best, Lucky Florin's got to be hard to beat. I just sided with Southern Scandal because I was a little bit more confident probably about the map. I thought would find the top. Lucky Florin drawn 6. I thought just looked a little bit sticky. Lisa Staples is probably going to be midfield, maybe just off midfield, and giving Southern Scandal a little bit to catch. 6 next best for me, Master Alex. The Gates, the killer there for that horse, will get back and be running on. And then number 1, the Horseman. Short of his best, but his best form's certainly good enough for a race like this. Just the 1,100 metres is probably going to be a little bit sharp.
Yep.
3, 2, 6 and 1.
2, 6, 3, 4. Lucky Florin on top from 6 Master Alex. Look for him to be hitting the line powerfully. 3 Southern Scandal and 4 Spirit Man for Julia and Christy Bennett. 2, 6, 3 and 4 in the final race there at Geraldton, TC.
Lovely. 3, 2, 6 and 1 for me. That's all the races down. We'll take a quick break. Come back with best bets.
Today's Sports Daily for Darling View Thoroughbreds, the home of Playing God, Splintex and Lightsaber. Go to darlingviewthoroughbreds.com.au for details.
Opening meeting today at the Geraldton Turf Club, race 1 getting underway at 12:54. Digby Beecham, please, your best bets.
I am waiting to the second half of the card, TC. My best comes up in the penultimate. That is race 6, number 3, Snippy Witch for Adam Durant and Joey Azzopardi. I think he hits a very winnable assignment fresh off the back of 2 solid trials.
Yes, and just north of $3 as we record this at the moment. I think it looks a nice price. My best bet, I'll go with Divine and Anna. We spoke about the reasons. Race 5, number 4, third up. Should be ready to peak and should be able to get a beautiful run up on speed from that draw. Play of the day.
Talking Divine of Anna, I've got her race 5, number 4, into race 6, number 3, Snippy Witch. That double As we sit here this morning, it's around the $10 mark, TC with Tab Touch.
He's going to be carrying a bit of weight because I've gone race 4, number 6, 12 under.
Yes.
Into Divine and Anna race 5, number 4.
So you and Michael Heaton are very keen about the prospects of 12 under there today in the 4th.
Both of those horses should be up on speed, so hopefully it's playing that way there at Geraldton today. If you are gambling, please do it responsibly with Tab Touch. Catch up tomorrow, Diggers.
Yes, looking forward to reviewing this Geraldton meeting and looking forward to a massive day, not only at Kalgoorlie but also Saturday with our boys on the East Coast.
Yeah, cannot wait. We might take a look at the Hannon's handicap and do some form for that today. Catch you tomorrow.